It's a beautiful day in the Gamerhood, a beautiful day for my gamers. Would you be one? Could you be one? Shout about thunder, but don't despair. This colony's breeding great robbers. Would you be one? Could you be one? If the 80% mortality rate works for you, for a few bucks a month you can sign up and have the Hobbs kill you. So let's make the most of another Sunday. Brew up some coffee and play it my way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my gamers? Won't you please, please won't you be my gamers?
All right. Welcome to Mr. Hobbs' Gamerhood. Tonight, we'll eventually be playing Old School Essentials. I am Jason Hobbs, better known as Mr. Hobbs, and I'm going to be the GM. And thanks, everyone, for chitter-chatting out there. Always happy to see you guys engaging and having some fun. So, without further ado, let's jump over the round table. My last Session 0 went so well 2 weeks ago on Sunday that I thought I would have another one before this game. So let's jump over here and you guys can meet the players. I think. There we go. All right, here we go. Here's the round table. The Tuesday nights, that's what I call this group. That's KNIGHTS for those who don't know. Stu. Anyway, let's meet let's meet these players. Why don't you guys can introduce yourselves, say something about yourselves, and you can even introduce your character maybe, and then we'll get into the Session 0 stuff. Let's go clockwise. Taylor.
All right. My name is Taylor. I am coming at you live from Watauga County, beautiful Watauga County, and I am drinking Thunderstruck Coffee Porter. Tonight, I will be playing the mysterious Hadia Al-Makan, a magic user.
Nice. Good work. Aaron, you got some big footsteps to follow there. Aaron.
Hey, I'm Aaron Clark. I'm here in California, and I am playing Hethan, a cleric.
Nice. Stu.
Yeah, I am Stu. I am playing Galdal, a dwarf mercenary in this rundown desert town of Hava. His jaw got pretty messed up a while back after failing barely succeeding some death saving throws, rather. So I guess I need to practice talking through a clenched jaw or something. I'll figure that out as we go along.
Fun. Gabe.
Hey, I'm Gabriel. I'm from Uruguay. Tonight I'm playing Akimuk, a young Karaman thief, raised in the streets of Junera, the city of thieves.
Nice. So you guys should all know that this, I don't know. I don't even know if you're supposed to call them campaigns anymore, because I read these people that are saying they've done campaigns for 30 years, but you found out they've actually had multiple campaigns within the campaign. So I don't know what you're supposed to call it. Anybody know? Is it still campaign, but there's just like any other D&D-ism, there's multiple ones?
Sure. The words do what you tell them to.
Yeah, I think campaign's the right.
Another thing is like the
term.
campaign,
like
setting.
a series of linked games, right? That's a campaign. Like a series of linked events, series of linked battles. That's a campaign.
Okay, so we're gonna play a traditional campaign. The very first White Sands game, Gabriel was in, and it became the. Look at this! I got props, y'all. I'm like professional. The excavation of the tomb of Lornanane.
Where can we get that?
I have one right here in my hand. No, you can actually. They have them at Goodman Games. You can get the PDF on drive-through. I could have more printed here and sent out if people wanted to.
Cool.
I don't know if Goodman Games has any left. They had quite a few of all four of them. at one point. Anyway, that campaign became that adventure for that zine number 1. And then like Stu was referring to is during the Lost in Agata campaign, it was our fallback. If we didn't have players and we weren't doing a war story or a background story, we played White Sands, and that's what he's actually reprising his role from that. None of these other yahoos had the opportunity to play in that. So anyhow, let's get to the session 0 stuff. Most of the information I think we dealt with. These guys obviously have characters already, so we already talked about character generation and all that. But and that's what I always say is that session 0, everyone does them. They just don't necessarily have a time sitting around the table to go over the information. They do it on emails, phone calls, or whatever. So we've been doing it's not a new thing. People have been doing session 0 since the game first started. When Gary was sending Arneson an email about how much his game sucked, that was, I guess, not a session 0. That's a whole different thing, isn't it? So anyhow, we're going to talk about scheduling. So I'm hoping to start every Tuesday by 7:15. I told the guys hopefully they can be here by 7 to get our cameras going. I don't really know where this campaign is going to go specifically. We're using some of the notes and information that we did off of the campaign that Stu played in, and even the information that Gabe knows about Genera he could leverage for his character. I think he has some memory maybe of what Genera, the City of Thieves, was like. So what do you guys think? Here's the question. My first thought is that I'm assuming it'll last 9 to 15 sessions. You guys think you can really pretty much commit to that? I think I told you guys that up front, right? Gabriel's
Yes.
like, no fucking way.
I don't know about. I didn't hear about the upfront commitment, but I'm in.
All right, good. So I want to treat us all like adults, so it's not going to be like the day of, hey, is everyone going to be here? I'm just going to expect you to be here, and I'll be here as well. But if you're not, then we want to have a few days notice if possible so people can come up with whatever. There's going to be emergencies or whatever, and I get that, but we have another player who will eventually be here. Hey, get out of there. You're messing up everybody's cameras. I thought I made it so people couldn't do that. I don't know how to turn that off. God. Leave it to Sean P. Kelly. Hey, I want to jump in here and see if I can screw this up. Sean.
Yeah.
See if I can screw this up. There. I just kicked him out. I didn't know I could do that. Hey, Trevor. All right, so anyhow, what do you guys think? Is anyone got any problems with that?
I don't know. I think maybe coming up with some initial thoughts around what we would do in the event of maybe a single absence, or what we might still have a quorum, but we have an exception. What we might want to do there. But.
What's the minimum number of players? I think you're asking, right, Stu?
Yeah, sure.
Elliot is going to be around too, so that would mean I think we would want at least 3 probably.
Yeah.
I'm going to try to play no matter what, even if I make you guys play board games on Board Game Arena. We're going to do something on Tuesday nights from 7 to 10. So
Perfect.
And
so I'm traveling. I'm traveling the week of the 2nd, so
November 2nd.
My wife would not probably enjoy it if I played D&D on Tuesday night.
So that's the
I'm probably out.
That's next week.
I'm out the
2 weeks.
2 weeks from now. Yeah.
But what if she rolled up a character?
I've tried this approach. I'll tell you that story another time.
I've tried with my wife too, and it did not go. I mean, it went okay, but it wasn't like, hey, I can't wait to do this again.
We didn't get far until my buddy put the kibosh on our alignment choice of neutral evil, and she was like, I'm done.
If I can't play my actual alignment, I'm not playing.
All right.
Awesome. Perfect. What do you guys think? I kind of figure we'll just let people fade to black. What that means is if you're here and we stop out in the middle sometime, then you're not going to die unless the whole party dies. But you won't be able to use that character or use their belongings or any of that. And we're not going to explain it. We're not going to explain it away or anything. It's just going to be, that's the way it is. I think that's the easiest thing to do.
Yeah, that's okay.
Works.
And I might try to come up with like I'll have some other games on tap or something that maybe we'll be able to do. If we only have, 3 people can be pretty tough in a game like OSE, especially when you're a killer GM like I am. Taylor, you haven't said anything. What do you think?
Oh, it sounds good to me.
All right.
So,
I think we've
yeah,
beat this.
Yeah,
All
but
right.
I think the fade to black idea is probably the best way to go, because at the end of the day, nobody really cares about the explanation for why someone was missing. They just want to see the game progress.
Yeah, we're not really, making a movie or writing a book where we have to detail where everyone is, and if it feels a little awkward, I don't think that continuity is a big loss. All right, so we are using Old School Essentials with the house rules, pretty much the same, similar house rules that I've been using for almost all of my OSE campaigns for a while. Nice. One thing that I wanted to clear up, I've always kind of struggled with this a little bit, is experience points. So I'm not gonna do monster XP. I'm not gonna find the monsters and add up all their experience points and do that. I'm just not going to. I'd rather like work on maps or make the stream look better or go to bed after the game or whatever, make tokens and all that. I'm not down with doing that. So what do you guys want to do? Last game, Lost in Agata, we did 300 XP per session, I think, plus treasure. Right? Stu, is that right?
Yeah, that's right. And then for major achievements, I think you might have kicked in a little bit for milestones, but
I usually kick in bonuses for accomplishing quests or doing something within your alignment or cool stuff. Is that fine, or what do you guys think? And we didn't jump that up, so like it was still it's not like 600 at second level or 900 at third level. It was just 300 the whole time, I think. And
What's your take on XP per hit die of the character? I mean, per session, like 100, for example, 100 per hit die per session, and then bonus for surviving or discovering new things and stuff.
So basically, in the system I was talking about, you would get higher quicker, but then it would be a very slow progression after that. What Gabriel's talking about is maybe a median progression all along, right? So basically 100 XP per session per level, right? That's what you're thinking?
Yeah, something like that. And then you could throw in like bonus XP for discovering cool things.
Or what about like 100 XP per hit die per encounter, right? Per scene or something like that.
A scene,
don't
huh?
push it.
You like that because then like that's like role playing scenes as well, or
no, not necessarily, but I mean,
I have the stamp of approval of what consists of a scene?
Bonus XP if we cosplay as the character.
I don't know. I mean, I like that idea of the award per hit die, right? Kind of like what we were doing in the hex crawl stuff.
Yeah.
With the survival bonus and then the extra stuff thrown in there. I'm pretty flexible. I'm not a big fan of like milestone experience and stuff. I don't feel like I'm.
Stu said milestone, but I don't think he means milestone like people say milestone in 5th edition. I don't think.
Right. Yeah, it was like major achievement, like, hey, we finally accomplished this.
Sure, and that's worth 500 or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
Yes, and that's what I usually do. I mean, 100 XP per session that you make it to the end, plus gold pieces, plus whatever bonuses. That'll go. I think that'll go fairly quickly. After 15 sessions in Lost in Agata, Stu, like what level was your character? 3rd?
Yeah, 3rd or maybe just hitting 4th.
So that's pretty fast for my game, to be honest, for what my games usually go as. So, but I mean, maybe I gave you guys too much treasure and XP. I don't know. Anyhow, we can also
maybe we achieved great things.
That's true.
Is another possibility.
All right, this is another question. All right, there is in some people's minds a survivability issue in old school games, even old school essentials. I mean, I've already done max hit points at first, death save. So anytime you go to 0, you're gonna make a saving throw versus death. If you succeed, you survive, and then you roll on the wound chart. If you fail, your character is dead. I mean, that's pretty much what I've used in the past. But even like there's opportunities for like some pretty nasty almost retiring type stuff on the wound chart. So, which I do use a modified version of the axe mortality wounds chart, basically. So,
So that's on a successful death save. You roll on that chart, and then
yes,
you might get like
your arm cut
a
off,
missing
or something.
leg or something.
Yeah, or lose an eye, or have a really bad jaw injury, or whatever. So one of the things that I have done in the past is people didn't necessarily, they wanted to have more control. I don't call that player agency exactly, but it kind of is. It's player agency within the system as opposed to in first person character. So what I call them is like weird points, where I don't know what you would even do to get them. I don't remember what I was doing. I think I was using there's a system that I had played for a while. I don't know if is it Dungeon World? It's one of those more story game type games where at the end of the game, people would go around and say, hey, who was MVP? Who was best player? And then you would get these points, and then you could, and what I'm talking about is you could spend these points on there'd be like hero points or something in a lot of games, but instead of just getting one per, you could do it this way too. One per player in the session, you get one. So you guys would have 5 of them tonight, and then you could, or 4, I guess. You don't count me. 4 of them. And so you could use it to re-roll a roll, or like a +5 on your wound roll, which uses a D20 or something like that. Do you guys think we need to do that, or do you want to hold that off where we have more discussion about it? It's just an idea and a thought that we could consider.
So kind of like a Warhammer role-playing fate point kind of thing.
I guess I've never used that.
Use it to save yourself from dying or making a re-roll, or
it's really up to you. It's up to you to see if you wanted to I want to re-roll this attack roll, or
something bad's happening. Can I use this weird point to change the result? Kind of thing, right?
And I say weird, WYRD.
Yeah, I mean, if you're worried of our survivability, I mean, this game, we can use it.
I don't mind dying, so I'm okay with that.
I don't either, but I know.
What do you think, Taylor?
Yeah, Taylor hasn't said anything.
I think it's kind of neat. I had that came out of the blue for me. I have not played the Warhammer either, so that sounds kind of interesting. I like the idea.
Well, let's give it a shot then.
All right. So for right now,
I don't know, Stu. You didn't say anything on this topic either? Sorry.
I am okay with trying a mechanic like that if we want. I'll also say I feel like you do a pretty good job if things turn south and people come up with creative ways to try to help someone, of kind of riffing off that a little bit, and allowing a little bit of subjectivity to that process that you described, to where I am not super concerned without said mechanic, but it's not a thing that's been in play before. And if that sounds appealing, I'm also okay playing with that. It'll be a new thing to mess with. So I'm good either way.
All right. So
something new to try.
Let's do it like this. So we'll just do it just like Dungeon Musings does it on his YouTube channel. So you guys have 4 weird points. So you could just like say 4 out of 4 weird points somewhere. Someone keep track of it. And every time you use one, it goes down. They don't carry over to another session in this situation. And you can kind of use them to re-roll a roll. I'm sure that at some point I'm going to be like, that's like removing some tension. So we may end up narrowing what you can use them for. But I think most people are going to probably want to save them for like death saves and then maybe a wound save. But anybody can use them. It's not just one per character. So you guys may want to discuss it or whatever.
So it's a pool. It's a party pool that's available per session.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's a pool party.
Okay.
That's right.
Okay.
It's a pool party. All right, cool. So someone have something else to say? No? All right, I thought I started to interrupt someone. All right, so this is interesting for me. Tonal, the tone of the campaign. So you guys have all played with me. Some of you've either watched videos or whatever. You know, pretty much most of my games. I like to call them gray fantasy. So everything your characters do are pretty serious to them, right? I don't like to have it be lighthearted for the characters because the things they are doing are nasty. Things are terrible that happens to them. I kind of have an edge to horror to most of the stuff that I run. So it's pretty bad for the characters, but outside of the characters, I'm almost constantly mocking myself and you guys as players and sometimes what your characters do, and you guys can mock me and joke around. So I feel like joking around is fine. But what's happening to the characters is as serious as it can be. Obviously, they can have fun and get drunk or whatever they want to do, but that's how I kind of explain the tone of the campaign. Does anyone feel like that's off, or you have anything to add, or are you fine with that?
No, I think it's good for me.
Yeah, that's okay. I mean, now that you mentioned getting drunk, are you gonna do carousing at the end of the sessions, or
No.
are you gonna? No, okay.
No, I'm not planning on it, but I will start going over my downtime books that I have. I've recently started doing some more stuff with downtime, or wanting to. So like Courtney's downtime and demence book, I should be getting a hard copy of that soon, and there's some downtime stuff in low fantasy gaming that we might be able to pull in. So there could be something like carousing. It just won't be the same as the Kalmata carousing tables. There'd be
The
something
D30
maybe we
table.
could do. Yeah, it won't be that stuff. It'll be something else. Or maybe it will be that stuff. I don't know. But we can certainly consider it. I don't know, because characters are going to go... I think you guys are going to level pretty fast. So, I don't know, though. But I mean, is third or
that's
fourth
what
level all you
we-
ever want to be? I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, that's okay. Personally, I enjoy lower levels, so I don't mind that, like if the progression is kind of slow, but that's personal. I don't know if
Yeah.
the other.
I don't
But,
mind either.
And carousing is something that speeds up
Mhm.
leveling. So
On the other hand,
that's
there isn't a lot that happens
Mhm.
when you go up in levels in a game like Old School Essentials, right? There's not a whole lot that changes. A little bit, like your saving throws might change, or you get another hit die, but there's not a whole lot that changes. So,
okay.
but
I mean,
agree with you.
and if you want to take the chance of this game to explore new things or try whatever you um, come across in new books or whatever. I mean,
Yeah, now I'll run it by you guys
Makes
in
sense.
the Discord too. So,
Good call out.
I don't remember what else I was going to say. It's certainly pretty human centric, which it's emergent empires. The setting that I use for Kalmata and for probably 20 different campaigns over the past 7 or 8 years since I started it. So you guys are pretty familiar with it. Sometimes the naming conventions will get confused because I took it when I was running an Axe game. So some of the nomenclature is from that, and then I changed those names and tweaked them a bit to be. There's some analogs to our world. I usually call it the emergent empires, but when I talk about it in character, it's more known as the known world. There's nobody hanging out at the bar saying, "Hey, how's the emergent? Have you been to the west side of the emergent empires?" No, it's just like the known world or a specific area or region or country. And if you guys have any questions about that, feel free to ask. Most people obviously don't travel that far, and the majority of your characters are all, Jesus, I can't even remember. Karaman. It used to be Chrysian. That's why I get it confused. From the Karaman League. You would know of, like, there's usually in my campaigns, there's going to be beastmen around. Those are mostly Yakim and the Soth, which are both probably lizardman equivalents. Not lizardman as in the stats of a lizardman, but like a desert large. One of them is more like a Sauron, which would be what the Soth are, and the Yakim are smaller, probably if you were going to consider them closer to Goblin or Kobold. But no culture is automatically kill on sight. They may kill you on sight or try to, but there are those tribes or different tribes depending on what the situation is anywhere. There's not going to be kill on sight really in most of the things. It's always kind of a touch of gray, which is where the gray fantasy comes from. And I think that covers everything. Oh, yeah, pitch and tone. Yeah. Does anyone have any questions about any of that? Aaron? Comments?
Good.
Taylor?
Nope.
Stu?
Nope. Thanks for asking about it, though.
Gabe?
That's okay.
All right, so
Windows.
actually, this is terrible. I'm out, Aaron said.
We're shuffle. I'm
so-
Taylor now.
No, when Aaron pops back over, everyone will go to normal.
Sorry. I don't know why Discord crashed.
I don't either. Sounds like an issue.
Is that better?
All right. Yeah, it is. It's perfect. Aaron's at his stand-up desk now, right?
Yep.
Nice.
Got to keep up with Stu.
Now I gotta wait. I was thinking about it, but I
Sitting all day.
All right, so I think we should head over to the tabletop and let's get into some stuff more. Oh, I shouldn't be there. See ya. So here is the White Sands tabletop. You guys will get used to this. So maybe it'll be fun to hear an actual player tell us about Hava.
Oh man, no pressure. Yeah, so Hava is this small. I assume you meant me. Someone else is welcome to chime in if they picked up enough from Discord. So I played, I think, 3 to 4 sessions. I couldn't remember exactly. But Hava is this small town that is built on this sort of ruined city infrastructure that you can kind of see depicted in the picture here. So it is a set of ruins that the sand has covered, but the sand level fluctuates over time, as I understand it. And keep me honest here, Hobbs. But there's been times where it recedes a bit and might uncover, a structure or building that hasn't been explored or seen before. But these main buildings that are shown here, right now, at least the time period that we're playing in, and are relatively limited. The ones that I know of, there's this little tent outside of town, and I'll see if I can poke it here. The Pilgrim's Chalice is basically like a tent tavern. There is some really expensive wine that is served here, just because I have no idea where they get it from, but that's the Pilgrim's Chalice. And it's run by a guy named Daig. Mm-hmm. And then also in town is the Company of Sharp Blades, which is like a mercenary guild troop. Not sure what the right term might be, but that is actually where Galdel was hired from when basically he was hired by the PC group that I was playing in, and my guy died, so I picked him up and ran with him. And then I think Hava is a couple miles outside of the nearest proper city-state. I think it's called Natan, if my notes are correct. Hobbs, I'm not sure how many miles that is, but I want to say it was a hex or two.
I am about to show you, sir.
Oh, cool. I'll turn it back to you then.
I don't remember where I have to change it. Oh, okay. Jeez, I don't even remember what I'm doing here. All right, here we go. All right, so this is, I'll give you a quick look of what the White Sands of Op Jamar are. Don't look too close, though. Oh, you can't even see. I forgot that I had it like that. All right, so this is the 6 Mile Hex version, and you can see Natan is this red area here. It's the red. It's one of the city states. This is Hava here. This is one of the
Okay.
caravanseries path. So you can see that this is like a kind of a circular area. This is almost the northernmost section. You know, picture kind of a circle with mountains all around the north and west edges with a single pass leading into it. And then in the center is this area of mountains and badlands that all of the city-states, the Shadar and the Karamani, don't go in there. They say it's bad and it's not a good place to be. Genera is right on the gate, and at the center of the pass is a dwarven vault where it's like kind of when you pass through there, and you know it's miles of this pass to go through, and it's not easy, and it's hot, and it's a kind of a dangerous area, but it's also a good way to trade with the people of the Karaman League. And then farther to the east, before you get to the Wicked Coast, is where you'll find some other powers in the known world. And it's not on a coast anywhere to the south or anything. Karamani does not have any coasts. So overland travel uses these the caravan way or the trade way, which you can either go to the north or to the south of the Badlands, but it's this circuitous route around that central hub. And then there's these city-states that are dotted around. During the Great Wars, the city-states banded together to be known as the Karaman League. So the people who live in the city-states are known as the Karamans, the Karamani, and then these wandering tribes who still live out in the desert are known as the Shadar. And there's various Shadar tribes. And just like any culture, these that live out there, you know, they're nomadic, they move around, they head to the different oasis, that they would have a better idea of where some things are. But once you get out of your territory, you know, it's kind of more of an unknown. Maybe I should make this bigger so people can see what the heck I'm talking about. So this is the large overland map of the area that we're going to play. I would say most of the campaign will take place here. So I sent you guys the 20 questions from Jeff's gaming blog that were also printed in this bad boy, Broodmother Sky Fortress.
Cool.
The 20 questions of what any person should know in the campaign. Have a good trip. Oh, that's terrible. Hey, Eric Thomas Hunt. Looks better in sepia. What? Jesus. God. So, gaming in BS. Is it sepia, though? That's someone told me it was. Gaming in BS last night, one of their readers or someone in the chat said that they should do commentary on game campaigns, and Sean said he was going to do it to me. So here you guys go. So you guys watch out. There could be a gaming in BS commentary on one of these games that you guys are playing in. So look out.
I'm imagining it being a replay with Sean as like this little silhouette at the bottom, Mystery Science Theater style.
I would imagine
That's what he tried to do earlier. Sorry, what's the name of the big city, the red one that's out on the map there?
Najan, I think. Is that what you said?
Yeah, that's the one I was asking about, the big red city.
Because I think I put that in the document, but I couldn't find the name of that city in my notes, so I might have called it something else. So
you shared that doc, but I didn't read it. So.
Oh, you didn't?
Yeah. I tried to go back to look at the last recording from the last time we played, and it was mentioned then too. But I wrote it down as Natan. I don't know.
Natan.
What it is,
let's say it's Natan. So you guys didn't read my 20 questions. I only stayed up until midnight writing that son of a bitch.
I figured that was all for you, so I didn't want to like.
No, this
I thought you had just
you.
linked to the original list of questions. I didn't see that you posted your answers to them.
Yeah.
My 3-page background story had references to 2 different things in there. Thank you.
You're welcome. Your 3-page.
I didn't read that either.
The reason I was looking at it is because I wanted to. It's like the very first portion of I just copy and pasted the religion stuff for the new gods out here. So the tents outside is called the row, and then I named like it asks things like what players would normally ask. That's why you would. So I called it Naboo. So let's change that Naboo to Natan. All right, done. All right, now we're back in. So this is the 1 mile hex, and the here is Hava. These are some other areas of note which you guys would know. So this is Natan over there.
Okay. There.
Yeah. What I ended up doing though is when I was starting to gather all this information, I started trying to find all of the White Sands information of all the different campaigns, and I got kind of sidetracked. And so now I kind of have lost the stuff that's specific to this game. It's strung all over the place.
So,
What?
is this map, is this second map that we're looking at, is it at a different scale? The hexes are at a different scale?
Yes, this is a 1 mile hex map.
Oh, I see. So
Things are
right,
tighter and
cool.
closer. It's still mostly desert. So I can give you what some of these are called. So at 5119, which is all the way to the east, is that caravanserai that was visible there? Here we go. Way over here. Let me see, what am I looking for? Here it is. That is known as Ilkin, and maybe that's too far away. It won't really matter. White Rock is like there's a pass here at 4015. You guys see that gray when I do it as a player?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that would be here.
What's the number? Sorry.
4017. It's also called Dagu Bahar, the East Spring. So there's a spring there, and it's also known as White Rock. So you can. I usually have multiple names for everything. So that is, probably a day and a half travel, depending on the winds.
Why would wind have any impact on our travel in this world?
And maybe we don't even need to know, but these are some areas of note. Like this is an oasis here. So if you're traveling from Junera or you're traveling from Natan, this would be an oasis you'd likely stop at on your way here. So this is called, what is that? 1822 Life Water. So it's Hayat Suya. 1515. This is called the Deadlands up here. Olayur. This is known as Telek Vahasi, Oasis of Danger.
Sounds welcoming.
Yeah, so people say don't use that if you want. And so the Forbidden Lands or the Badlands that we were talking about would be way to the south from where you are. The heavy mountainous region is going to be all over here to the north and west. And this had nothing.
The Badlands, the mountainous regions are north and west of us.
The north and west is the mountains, but the Badlands is to the central, so it's south of you. The central areas, the Forbidden Zone.
Okay,
yeah.
I'm with you.
All right, so that's kind of what is going on around you. But the most important stuff, and pretty much what all the last campaign took place in, was Hava. So I think there are some rumors. So you guys would be hanging out. So this isn't like a building. This area is, so these massive walls are what is considered to be Hava, right? So these are tall ass walls here. These are huge. And this area here is open. And you can see that just the gate is almost 100 feet wide. And so this rises up out of the sand from where the row is, which is where all the caravans like hang out. And some of these tents are almost permanent, which would be the chalice here where you're hanging out that's run by Deeg. And here's some information about that. It's also called Hasi Kadehe, the Pilgrim's Chalice. It's located in the row with the money of the other tent shops. Its neighbors include a stinking oxen pen and a dyer. So that's how wonderful it is hanging out here.
What's a dyer?
A person who dyes clothes.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, and these tents might change, so they probably pay somebody to do that. And but you guys wouldn't necessarily know. All you know is that you kind of walked in here. So maybe this would be a good time now. I'll finish explaining the town. So this is the main gate, and there are some tents and things around these gates as well. And one of them was mentioned in the campaign questions. And I think that would be Shatamarum. Is that right? Nope, maybe not. I was thinking that there was somewhere in here.
You did. You mentioned that Shatamarum was a wizard who lived in Hava.
He did, but he was known as Shatamarum of the Spearless. You guys get that? So anybody who has been in Emergent Empires game. Nice. Anyway, so I don't know. I should write this down for Gabriel because Gabriel and probably. I got to do some work here. Sorry. There we go. So there is one of the most powerful known wizard cabals in the known world is the Tower of Magi in Argo, and a lot of times they allege themselves with each other by the type of hats that they wear. And this person is known as part of the Spearless. So supposedly you would think he would wear some kind of circular hat. So we have kept that going, Gabriel.
Yep.
But that person, you guys would know, has not been heard from. He hasn't been seen for weeks. But he did take an apprentice named Sekhmet that supposedly lives in one of the tents around this main gate, which the gate is actually like these massive pillars that support this area up above. There aren't really guards that much. The town is not that large. But you can see that once you cross through, you kind of are on this upper tier here. So you cross through and you're on this upper tier. And then you actually go downstairs to this lower tier. So these are some of the main buildings he mentioned. So this is the chapter house of the Order of Sharp Blades, or the Company of Sharp Blades. This is the temple to the Ravager. This is the bathhouse. This is like Cylindricos. Yeah.
Is there a water source there for the city at the bathhouse?
There are some wells, so there must be some kind of oasis underground here somewhere. But yeah, there is natural fed springs at the bathhouse. But it's also like the best bar in town. This is the tower where the Spearless was at, but he's been missing for some time. So now it's all locked up and no one's been able to enter. And this is something here too, but I don't remember what, and I don't think I have it. There's like a little thing down here that you can see where I've kind of named what most of these are. And like a lot of the answers to some of your questions that people might ask are all in the 20 questions there. So let's get back to, we want to say maybe what's going on, Stu, with what you know of.
Yeah, so the major thing people in town were talking about prior to my injury was there was a Krisian assassin that was spotted in Hava. He was last seen in the Stargazer's Hall. Is that the tower?
Nope, that's the F.
The F. I see. Okay.
Change that to Karamani assassin, by the way.
Got it.
Christian is Karamani.
I knew of two things pending. Is that there was an assassin spotted, and I don't have any other information than that. Or at the very least, I didn't write it down. And then there was a visiting Mabishi lord. His name was Galtev, visiting Hava. And there were a lot of people accusing him of foul things like summoning demons and, involvement with the occult.
What's his name? Halva? Sorry, I missed it.
Galtev.
So that great war that I was talking about was with the Mabishi Empire. That's the tongue that everyone speaks. That's when you use common. It's basically the language of man because the Mabishi almost conquered all of the known world. Kalmata is actually right off the coast of what once was Mabishi. Most people don't say they're Mabishi anymore because a band of a lot of the other cultures went and they had to band together completely to drive them back to their homeland and then push them in and then put in new leadership. But there are some Mabishi lords that still live around, but most of them wouldn't say what they are because they would create some issues, right? So, and they're also known as necromancers. They use zombies and a lot of undead in their armies and subjugated people and, had no problem dominating them with their magic.
And so those are two things that our group didn't really look into very much. We concerned ourselves with just some maybe arguably smaller concerns around town. There was a caravan that went missing. And this led us to go out into the desert, like within a mile or two of Hava. And we found what was left of the caravan. The shorter version, we ended up interacting with the Yakim a lot, which are these smaller lizard people that Galdal holds a grudge against. And this last time we went out, we discovered this building that had a staircase that went underground, and there was this Yakim shaman, is the best way I could describe it, that seemed to be controlling this large zombie with horse mouths, multiple horse mouths. It was pretty ugly. There's a handout, you can see it. It's ugly. But anyway, that's when I got injured, and I've been in town since then. So these were the things in flight that I knew about, at least. Yeah, that thing crushed my face.
That thing's awful.
So I didn't follow up on the assassin. I don't know much about the visiting Mabishi Lord with rumors of dealing with the occult and demons, but I do know that the Yakim are worthy of death.
You should talk about the ring.
Yeah, so me and my companions did succeed in that battle, even though I got severely injured. The Yakim shaman had this signet ring that was on him that seemed to represent some foreign, old Raja. And, one thing I had on my to-do list was to see if anyone, that was local to this region, just because I'm not exactly, might recognize what it is.
So the Raja are like houses in the Karamani League. If you're a part of one of the houses, one of the noble houses, then your name would be like Stu Raja Hust, with the Hust being the Raja, the house that you belong to. The most powerful house in any of the city states, the leader of that Raja would then be the Rajan or the Emirate, the leader of the city state. So the Rajas are always fighting, with each other, not necessarily physically, but politically, for power, fame, and sovereignty among all the different places.
So the Rajas are Karamani.
Yeah, Karamani. They're the Rajas are in the city states. The Shadar are these tribes who live outside of the city states, who don't interest themselves, and they think that they're lamb men and fat pigs who live in the city states, right? And then they end up doing what their bidding is. So, a generation and a half ago, 2 generations, most of the Karaman League was under the sway of the Mibishi, and they were used as light cavalry archers, fighting in wars across the known world. So many people in other cultures, don't necessarily, I wouldn't say fear, but they feel uncomfortable around Karamani because, and some people would say, like, if you live outside of Abjamar, you would call Shadar and Karaman, you wouldn't know the difference, right? You would think they were from the same culture, and they kind of are, but really their cultures are very different. The city-states or the Karamani kind of feed and use the Shadar because that's who they usually use for their mercenaries and to do all the things that the people who live in the cities don't want to do. They use the Shadar for that. And like the older Shadar feel like their way of life is being lost because their youths feel that it is easier to go in and strut around and use their weapons and who cares, because they don't care about living the next day because they're young. So they don't want to do the harsh life of living out in the deserts of Abjamar. So there's kind of some conflict between those two cultures in the Karaman League.
So the young Shadar, they moved to the city?
Not all of them, but yeah,
but generally, okay.
Yeah, that's what's happening. Some of them still fall or still follow the old ways or the way of the Shadar. So like that's why Shadar will sometimes attack caravans, or maybe one of the Rajan of the city state may go and try and have a treaty with the Shadar. But the Shadar are like multiple groups of people. So when you make it with one tribe, it doesn't mean that another tribe is going to necessarily follow it, right? So,
Is it Shadar or Shadir?
I say Shadar, but Shadir probably sounds better.
So Galdel, how'd you come on that ring? I mean, I'm really interested in that.
So my group
Did you just find it in the desert, or
my group left in a hurry. That we found it with other trinkets and stuff in this little hut.
Maybe I should take over a little bit.
The underground building in the desert. Is that where you found it?
Go for it, Hobbs. It has been.
Yeah. So there were multiple campaigns, not campaigns, but sessions, right, that went on in this area in Hava, and he mentioned it earlier, Stu, that there are sometimes areas that the wind will shift and I don't even know. Unleash isn't the right word, but
unearth.
Almost unearth, right? Unsand a whole different area of once what was Hava, and so you'll find these ruins sometimes. And one of the old rumors were that some Yakim were around town and may have been causing problems, and so they found this unsanded or this unearthed area, unveiled area of Hava northwest of this period, and so that's where some of the other characters had already been to and found some Yakim there. And then, interestingly enough, the same group of Yakim were the ones involved in attacking the caravan southwest of Hava as well. So these Yakim, but I think they believe the Yakim have been driven off, and that was weeks, possibly a month or more ago that happened. And that's where that's where they found the signet ring. I think it was with the shaman, but they were, the Yakim were gathering the old trinkets and stuff around to try to sell them or trade them off. No one's really quite sure. I don't think everyone had come to light what in the heck they were doing there, but they were also murdering the animals of the caravan and then transporting pieces of those animals back to this unveiled area northwest of Hava. Do you remember all this, Stu?
I do, yeah. I didn't get a chance to watch the whole recording. There was only one that I could find, but yeah, I saw some of it.
So are the Yakim, are they the beastmen or the lizardmen types?
That's the same thing. The beastmen would be
Same.
lizardmen types, yeah.
And they're kind of bad news. Is that where?
Some
what I'm
could be,
hearing?
some might not be. This particular tribe certainly seems to be.
And the tribes don't mix, right? The Yakim tribes don't mix with the Shadir tribes, and
Oh
maybe
no, not well,
Yeah.
they may. Some of them may, but not. I don't think like they don't have children together. They don't mate or anything. If that's what you're asking.
they
They may
not
trade.
had-
They don't speak the same language. They don't.
Well,
follow
they
the
could all
same
speak
gods.
Imperial, maybe, but
Uh-huh.
I haven't
they
had a
don't.
pleasant interaction with them.
You've not had a pleasant interaction with the
They've
band.
always
with the-
attacked. I keep a sack of salted and pickled Yakim heads to taunt them with.
I see. You're not a
Yeah,
fan.
Galdal hates the Yakim.
Yeah.
So these animal parts that they carry back to that place, they were to kind of build this thing that you mentioned with this
It's unclear.
thing.
We didn't get, because of my injury, we went back to town and we have not revisited the area. We didn't get to go underneath.
They found an area because this creature crawled out of a stairwell, and then they fought it there. But then after they fought it and hopefully killed it, they fled. So they don't know what the answers are, what lies beneath.
I have a question, a couple of questions to Hadia. For Hadia, what is she looking for here in Hava?
Oh yeah, we should talk about our bonds, maybe.
Yeah.
Well, to answer directly, this is sort of the edge of the world for Hadia, and she's come here in search. She's come here in search of, I guess the beyond. She's looking to expand her understanding of what's beyond the reach, beyond the grip of our normal vision, and this seemed. This seemed like a very good place to get away from where she was, which was probably primary goal. But this is a good place to lay low and to kind of branch out, not necessarily looking for mentorship in the arcane arts, but more importantly, a place for her to go to forbidden places to seek ancient and forbidden knowledge on the shifting sands, the hidden crevasses. That is the appeal for her.
Okay. Because I fear that if probably with Takamuk they were acquaintances from back from Junera. That's why probably he's from one of the gangs of the city that probably worked for her family employed for whatever reason. Then she trusted him somehow and asked him for help to get her out of the city. We can work on that later. And maybe he also got the rumor of this signet ring, the Raja signet ring, showing up, and that's why he's here too. I know. I'm trying to work with the pieces of information and trying to. I don't know if that's okay, Jason.
I think
Of course.
that's really neat.
I know the other we I mean I know Aaron talked about the relation with the dwarf, but you said, Jason, that everyone has to be related with at least one of the other. That's your idea?
Yep. That's what I'd like. So right now, basically, either Hadeya is bonded to Ekamuk, or Ekamuk is. Say your character's name again. Am I saying it wrong?
Okay, let me. It's Akimuk.
Akamuk? All right, like it, yeah. Or one of those two. So either Hadia has to connect to either Galdal or Hethan, or Akamuk has to. Unless, Aaron, you have something for Hethan.
Right. I said something for Hadia. Hethan and Hadia. They've met here in town. They've met maybe around the Pilgrim's Chalice. Had interesting conversations about the mysteries beyond. What those things mean. Kind of spiritual conversations, but not really. They're kind of verging into other topics, right? More the kind of arcane topics, but I think Hadia is kind of playing that all very close to her chest, right? If I understood the 3-page backstory.
It was like 3 sentences, wasn't it?
It's much funnier if we let people believe that I put too much effort into it.
Oh, okay. Well, I don't know. So, all right. So, Galdal, who do you think you're connected to out of all these guys? How would you know any of these guys? So, you would have passed through Junera I'm assuming you're from that vault that's on the edge of, but who knows how long ago that was? It could be connected there, or who all are. So we know that Akamuk is Karamani, right? He's a city-state guy. He's definitely not a Shadar. And Hadia must be Karamani as well, but Hethan is a Shadar, right?
Hethan is a Shadar, yeah.
Shadir. All right, he's a Shadir. All right, what do you think his tribe name is?
They're the White Hawks.
All right. He is of the White Hawks. So the naming convention I talked about earlier is I think that the Shadar are often use Il before their last name. So you could, if you had a name for White Hawk, but I think they still use a surname. They don't use their tribe name in that. Whereas the one of them's Ibn and one of them's Il and the other is Raja. We'll have to look over my notes, but I lost it in my head. So there's some naming convention. A guy once told me that to get the feel of a different culture in your D&D game, it has to be more than names. So I'm trying to get that feel, and I don't always know the best way to do it. So if anyone has any ideas, in the chat even, put it out there.
Dress, how they dress.
Okay, yeah, we can talk about that more. Yeah, and it's definitely hot here, right? The sand is white. It isn't red or black or anything. It's definitely white. And as the game progresses, I think maybe we'll get in deeper into the lore of the area. And Gabriel, you may remember some. I don't know if you will or not. But as we go, I guess what we were talking about is how would someone know Galda? I was thinking it might be funny if Galdal was at one point captured by some Shadar, and the tribe happened to be the White Hawks.
I guess that's for Stu, really.
Doesn't sound very heroic, but
Heroes get captured. You know how many times Conan was captured?
Maybe rather than capturing you, when you were coming to Hava, maybe separated from the mercenary company, from the lost in the desert, wandering.
Job gone wrong.
Yeah, we took you in and hosted you, right, with the clan.
I like that. I think that.
What if he healed that jaw injury? Try.
You better start talking like this.
I think our histories are a little confused, but I think Hethan was young at that point, like a child.
Right, dwarves are long-lived. Yeah, so that I think that's reasonable for me.
But you may have seen him with the markings of the White Hawks, and then hey, this is and so Hethan could actually remember Galdal from that.
Right,
I like that. I like that. That's good.
I still think he should have been captured and had his beard shaved off or something.
I like the idea of playing nice with my friends.
All right.
They forced him to listen to character backstories.
It's like a rite of hospitality or something, right?
Sure.
Yeah, cool.
All right. So anyway, what do you guys want to do? Do you want to go check out that unearthed era of Hava or the ruins?
I think Gabriel had a really good term for what happens when the sands sweep away and revealed something new here in the deserts. It's an unveiling.
All right. We'll see. I try not to give Gabriel more than he deserves, but sure. I'm just teaching. He knows. That's how I treat all Spanish people.
I don't know if you saw it in the chat.
I did. I said unveil when he wrote it. This game looks pretty good, though. I'm pretty happy with how it turned out. This is a very cool map.
Really lovely.
I don't know if we need the Hobbs and Friends down here. When Elmo gets back here, it probably won't be there anymore because there'll be room for another player video. Looks pretty good, though. I'm happy with it. I actually maybe start adding some sounds. I've been trying to do that lately because people seem to like to listen to background music. I don't know. I don't know if I'm one of them, but anyway. So, Galdal, are you going to lead this merry bunch into these unveiled ruins?
Yeah, if maybe I'm telling this story at the Pilgrim's Chalice and trying to convince them to go back out there. I have to admit, as a player, I've been curious to revisit it, and that was like the beginning of this year, maybe last year sometime. I couldn't find the exact date on the Twitch recording, but to understand more about what the Yakim are up to and what's up with like these undead monstrosities that are coming out of the ground, I think would be interesting. But if anybody wants to chase down one of these other things, we could do that too.
Yep, Hadia's up for it. It is a creature and the way you would have described what it was is fascinating. It's different. It's something that's not of this world, and
for sure. There'd also be I think he would certainly talk about the shaman being a mystic.
Yeah.
Oh, we did not do your spells, right?
not yet.
You're probably going to want to know what those are, right?
Yep, that was going to be one of my pre-adventure questions.
Take a quick break. I'll be right back.
Alrighty. So what I want you to do is roll a D3, D13.
3D13. 4, 8, and 2.
God. You're not going to be very happy. This looks like Baggio Gar level spells right here.
Baggio Gar is the second most powerful wizard in Kalmata behind Versus, so I feel honored.
So 2 is Detect Magic. What's the other one? 4 is Hold Portal.
Yeah, Hold Portal, and the last one's 8.
Read Languages.
I'm going to have to come up with some more backstory to figure out how I used these to escape. So, all right, I'll mark these down.
So, I don't think I usually make... Read Languages is different. I don't know if I've ever had anyone with Read Languages.
Yep, I don't blame those other players.
You, when you escaped, did you say that you... I also allow people to use magic. Like, I'll let people burn stats to do different things that they wouldn't normally be able to do. There's lots of... So don't be afraid to think outside your character sheet during the game. So... Well, I mean, Jesus, should we have taken a break? You guys... Let's talk to all the people out there.
Oh, sure.
I could go to the restroom too. Like 2 people just took off. So Taylor, if you need to go somewhere, might as well take a quick break. We're at the halfway point pretty much. So
yeah. Yep. We'll take a quick mid-session break. Hi, Aaron's family.
That's my wife, Emily.
Okay. Yeah, my wife might be still awake. It is a little past 9:30 where I am. So
Right. You're in Florida, right?
normally, yeah, we are actually closer to Stu's neck of the woods this week. We had driven up to North Carolina to taking a week off of work
Oh,
to
nice.
try to get away. So
Nice. But we're doing that the first week of November. We're going down to the coast.
mhm. Now,
Looking forward to the break.
were you Southern California, Northern California?
Northern California, yeah.
Northern, okay.
Bay Area, San Francisco
Bay
Bay
Area.
Area.
Oh, okay. I had a buddy who lived up there for a while. He worked for Western Digital, and he lived on a boat, so he
Oh,
couldn't. Yeah, he literally he because his family lived out of state, and he would commute into the Bay Area every week, and
right.
he needed somewhere to stay for the days he was on site, and so he found that it was cheaper for him to buy a boat and rent a livable slip, and so he had a bunch of interesting stories, and would periodically send us pictures of him sailing his house around various San Francisco landmarks.
Right, right. That was quite a thing for, I guess it still sort of is.
Mhm.
There's a whole community of folks that do that kind of stuff.
Yep, interesting stuff. So, I probably ought to take my quick bio, and then I'll come back and regale you with more stories of people you'll never meet.
Oh, we got a shuffle.
Yeah, it's Aaron's video again.
So, better?
Yep.
Yes.
So Hobbs, for the cleric spells, is it, I know you said, sorry, I just see you putting your headphones on. For cleric spells, Hobbs, is it first level you said I get my wisdom bonus for spells?
Yep.
And is that the full pantheon of level 1 spells, or is it more
Yeah.
like a spell book for you with
No,
wizards?
just you can pick them. You can just pick them. You
And
don't
is it cast at will from the list, or is it memorization?
memorization, but you don't have to memorize Cure Light Wounds. You can default to that from any other spell.
Okay, so you can override with Cure Light Wounds. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. I'm still doing some equipment stuff, but
Oh
I
my
think
God.
we can just do that in play, right?
I guess so. Jesus.
Any
Come
exceptions to availability, like shields and whatnot, they're around.
No, yeah, they're going to be around this area.
Okay. Cool.
So the common language you mentioned imperial.
Mm-hmm.
That would be
Yeah, that would be common across cultures. But here I would expect,
So,
you would know your native tongue plus common for sure. Those would be free.
okay.
So
Yeah, that's where I was going.
Karamani would be the
If we,
language. Then you would know Imperial. And then if you want to choose some other language, we can certainly figure that out. Gabriel, I
okay.
was thinking about your connection to this. So I think you were tracking what we talked about previously, a guy who did a robbery in Junera, which included the theft of something, but it was also said that he got a Rajan signet ring from House Mehmet, from the Raja Mehmet.
Okay.
But that's not necessarily what you're looking for, right? He got this. He also has something else. And that's what you're here for.
Okay. Then we can figure out what it was.
Well, that also is like a good reason why you may be interested in finding out wherever this ring was found, right? Because perhaps that item is wherever this was.
On the cleric spells, could we do resist heat instead of resist cold for
Sure.
level 1?
Yeah.
Cool.
It looks like we have one of the players in a previous game out in the chat today. He hasn't said anything, though, so I can't actually say his name. Because I heard that's the proper etiquette. All right, everybody's here. So I think we might as well take a ride, right? There was one thing I was thinking about. I wouldn't mind seeding with perhaps some more rumors that have been going around. So we should probably talk about the rumors that what has been going on in the last month and a half while you've been hurt. Helshane was never spotted again, and no one is quite sure who they killed. There was a Prussian. Oh no, he isn't. He is a Karamani who wanted to have someone escort his daughter to White Rock, but he's not around anymore. You remember that?
Yeah, we chose
Ignored
not
that
to
dude.
help, and we just went off to kill some Yakim. That's what we did.
And there was another rumor that Vicent, an aging Keldoran, lost all of his gold gambling at the Masmavi Kupa, the Azure Mug. So that's like another gambling hall or inn or something somewhere nearby. But that was kind of old news. So let's get to some current news to seed. We're already on our way, though. This is a flashback to what happened. It looks like there was someone murdered, but the rumor is murdered by thieves. That would be Awild, a distant foreigner. There you go. This is in the past week or so.
That's while we are here, or that's before we arrived?
Like that's like the talk this day. So we'll say it was like in the past 3 or 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
Is the Cracked Mug a tavern here in the town, or is it something else?
Yeah, it's a tavern. I think that's the place where that one guy lost all his money, right? Oh, Azure Mug. That's what I meant to write. The blue mug. Azure Mug, not the cracked mug. Maybe it's the crack. Maybe the people call it both. Like the sign is the sign of a blue mug, but all the mugs inside are cracked, so they people call it the cracked mug.
And Bazee is the desert?
No, that would be another ruined city that people aren't sure where it lies. Different rumors. Some say that the sands overtook it. Some people, believe that the white sands of Optimar are alive themselves, maybe a god that can, comes and goes, and it shows it can be a boon to some people, and others it can be a great bane. And Bazi was something that was once desolated. It's one of those historic locations. But there are rumors that it isn't far from Hava. Like they were both ruled by the same Raja centuries ago.
What Raja rules over Hava now?
There isn't one, but
Okay.
there is a man who is trying to exert his will from Natan. It's in the White Sands thing. He's considered one of the richer people around. Samet Raja Iqtidar is trying to exert his will and maybe rule in this area. Right now, there isn't anyone who really rules. So you're kind of mostly at the mercy of maybe the most powerful man in Hava would also be the richest. He's said to be the richest. His name is Imset al Jahuti, and he owns the bathhouse.
So does he expect or take or claim any sort of toll over whatever riches are found in the surrounding areas?
Who? The guy who owns the bathhouse?
Yeah.
No, not exactly. But he thinks maybe he does like come out here to the row occasionally and send his men to take taxes, or maybe he gets a portion. The common person doesn't necessarily know, but with your background, you would be very surprised if he isn't getting, richer being here in Hava. On the surface, though, he isn't connected to any Raja at this point.
Okay.
All right. So these are some interesting points, so I should write some of these down.
Is he part of the gentry, or is he just like somebody that's trying to jump himself up in his station of life, the owner of the bathhouse?
So the gentry would be the Rajas. They would be
Right.
the houses, and he is not part of the houses. He's not affiliated.
But he's trying to exert such influence over this area.
Well, Samet Raja Iqtidar from Natan is the one who is exerting influence over the whole area.
Got it.
This rich guy that we're talking about, he just owns the bathhouse here in Hava, but he's kind of like the most powerful man in town. So picture this almost like an old West frontier town. So that isn't really controlled by anyone, but he would probably have to bow down if Raja Iqtidar showed up because of the Rajan Samet, who is not even the controlling power in Natan, but one of the most powerful houses nearby. So if those guys showed up, he would have to bow down to them, but he wouldn't be happy about it. He's almost like the head of the area, probably more considered a craftsman or a burgher as opposed to, but in many ways, not that far from like the head of a criminal organization or something like that, possibly, even though it wouldn't be a crime specifically. He's something, right? He's a powerful man here in Hava, but he's maybe like a really big fish in a small pond.
Sure. What's his name again? I missed it.
He's in the questions, which has answers.
Damn it.
I'm looking for it right now. It was a pretty good exercise to try to go through these. It's too bad you guys didn't look at them. It's a whole page and a half.
I wasn't sure what I was looking at when I cracked it open, and I felt like I was peeking too far behind the curtain, so that's why I closed it up.
So yeah, he must have some control over the people, but you guys aren't that sure, and Galdal didn't seem to care.
His legs weren't jammed from Deadwood.
Okay.
Alrighty.
Hey.
What is Gaming and BS talking about when he sees is he talking about your guys' names being familiar? I don't know. I do not know. But are we headed over to the unveiled area? Right?
Yep, sounds good to me.
I should say that Roll20 did make a change finally where you no longer have to scroll across the top for your various maps. They are lined up in that key up on top, which is pretty flippin' awesome.
I gotta check that out. Was that in the last 2 weeks?
Yeah, this is brand new.
That was always the worst.
Probably for the paid options, maybe.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
Whoa.
All right, this does not look the way that I thought it would.
We can see stuff.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
It's it used to have something on here, and then I must not have fixed it. Son of a bitch. Or maybe it's off. Maybe it's off because they also got rid of old. They might have. Son of a gun. Dynamic lighting. They finally updated it, so the old dynamic lighting is no longer on.
What? I didn't know that was I knew there was a new version out, but I didn't know they were gonna deprecate everyone's maps that they've made since the beginning of time.
Well, I wouldn't say it's deprecated. I don't even know what that word means exactly. Oh boy.
It's a computer science thing. It means they got rid of it.
They've been saying they were going to for quite some time now.
Unacceptable. Don't they know that you had this map made for us tonight?
Especially, yeah, no shit. I didn't know that it was going to be affected that way, and I just tried to fix one of my maps, and now it's locked up. I shouldn't say tried to fix one of my maps. I tried to make this be the right way. Let's see what it looks like to y'all now. But first I should do this. What the hell? This was a really kind of, I don't know if I would do this map the same way again that I did it this time. But it was already here, so I didn't want to have to mess with it. But unfortunately, we obviously had to mess with it. And I kind of jacked up because I put a bunch of these on the wrong layer anyway. All right, so we're saying that it's mid-morning. You guys head off, and within a few hours, you get out of the area of Hava, and you're moving about the sands, and you see these massive pillars in the distance, like buttes almost, stretching up into the sky. Maybe they're 100 feet tall or something, but they look like natural formations, and you can see them occasionally around. And Galdel is headed almost directly towards one of them. And as you're on kind of a higher area, and then the sand almost just kind of falls, and this area that you're on is more hard-packed dirt hidden beneath the sand. And now you've come upon like almost a valley, and you can see these structures that have been saved as they were buried in the sand.
Does this look familiar, Galdel?
Yes.
Yeah, sounds like the area I was in last time. I say barely able to open my jaw.
Shit.
Uh-huh.
Oh, God. Slingblade is here, too.
I'm still here. I just gotta put something under my computer. It's getting hot.
All right, let's see if this works. It's just a black, isn't it?
Looks like it.
Yeah, see, so I didn't expect this. I just set it for a setting, but the setting is supposed to be daylight mode, but it's not daylight moding.
Yeah,
None of you
it's
guys
just
can
sitting
see,
there
right?
loading.
Is there fog of war on or
Mm,
token without sight or any of that garbage?
You guys should be able to see. So this is fun. I know what I would normally do, but see, like the tokens still have the old stuff, but the map doesn't. It's only got the new. It says it was updated. All right, maybe we should refresh. Oh, I maybe shouldn't have done that. I might lose some stuff. Yep. Son of a biscuit. I should just let you guys do it, and I will do
No
it
luck
later.
on the refresh for me.
Interesting. Oh, okay, that's good though. Sorry, guys, in the chat. Sometimes this is the way that this is what happens, but we will get it figured out for sure. This is session 0, really, so. I didn't call it that, though.
I think we're into session 1/2 at this point, since we're doing a little bit of stuff.
I had hoped that we would. There we go. So what I will do is I will try to set this up what I would have done in the past. So sometimes if you're running a game and it's doesn't seem to be working the way it should, like your dynamic lighting, sometimes you can put like rocks and stuff out and give them a bunch of light, and then the things will work better. I wonder if dynamic lighting is gone from this page now. Nope, it's still there. So that's just weird. I'll set it up the way I would do it if it wasn't like this. I didn't really have to do that in this situation, and I'm not sure what's going on exactly. Let's see if this helps, though. Wow, nothing is really working. That's weird. What's going on, guys? Who's got the answer?
Revert to
I'm just skimming it. I'm
classic
skimming
Fog of War
Yeah.
reveal.
So Galdal did not have sight.
Oh. Yeah, I still see a black square.
Yeah, everyone else does. Wonder if I need to refresh this. I'm pretty pumped about what's going on in the campaign. I think it'll be fun. I think we've already kind of, by choosing what we did, we can kind of ride the stuff that came before pretty well. So that's pretty cool. So you could see before when I did not have anything on.
I see something now. I see a
I see it.
desert
I
town.
see every.
I see everything.
Yep.
This is kind of confusing, the way this map is set up. And if the dynamic lighting was working, it wouldn't be as messed up. So we'll just do it this way and it'll have to do. So like I said, this whole area is kind of opened up. And this is one of the massive pillars that I was talking about. And you guys are kind of on a, kind of like an abutment here, a natural one. And there's kind of like a valley down there. The trees probably aren't there, so just act like they're not there. This is the building that you went to in the past. Up here. You can see this tent isn't here, but what it is part of it is moored, and it's just kind of flapping in the wind that is like kind of blowing sand around the area, kind of in that valley down there. These are the same buildings. This building and this building are the same. This is just the inside. So all of these over here are the insides of the buildings.
Okay.
Which you shouldn't really be able to see.
Outside.
This is what you can see, yeah.
Okay, so there are about 5 buildings or so in the area total.
Exactly.
Okay, got it.
Was that your camp down there? That flapping tent in the wind, or somebody somebody else been here since you were. Everyone roll a d6.
Yeah, I was about to say, Galdel, your tent flap's open there.
It looks like your pick is sticking out, sir. That's terrible. Sorry, guys. I'm going to interrupt this moment to apologize for that. That was a terrible joke. I don't use my other transitions enough I don't think. Maybe I don't need to. All right, so what are you guys going to do?
Are you stuck on mute, Stu?
Yep, sure was a little calibration issue with the mute button there.
Sure.
None of those large birds of prey are flying around this area that I can see.
No, and that wasn't here that you ran into those. That was at the caravan in the past.
Got it. All right. I don't know. In lieu of anything else, I say let's.
Was that tent yours before, or what's with that tent in there?
No.
Do you remember? What you don't remember that?
I don't know what that was. I don't recall it even being there before. But admittedly, it's been a while.
And this area, how long ago was it unveiled?
I'll say, do you want me to answer what you kind of remember or no?
I recall it being so it's been 3-4 weeks since I was here in game.
Mm-hmm.
And we tracked them from the caravan. I think it was net new to all of us, so I don't know.
Najma had been here before.
Sorry, what was that?
Okay, so it's
Najma had been here before that. That was
okay. I see.
I think the answer is it's been here long enough
couple months,
that even if that wasn't your tent, it could be someone else's. So
Well, why don't you lead us on, Galdel? You were here last. You know what dangers lurk. Which dangers are most clear and present? I'm curious about that tent, but we can always circle back to that too.
Yeah. Why don't we approach? Let's get down off the hill first, and then maybe we can duck our head into the building, just because that was the last known place that there was activity the last time I was here. And if we don't see anything, maybe we can kind of walk around the butte if we want to come back around.
All right. I didn't know that you got knocked out, but morning, old golden hen. This is morning for you? I wondered where you lived.
I'll start making my way down here.
Is everyone else just following Galdel for now together?
Yeah, let's just go as a group.
And are you just wandering down there, or are you kind of in exploration mode?
Is the sand swirling around enough to where visibility is limited right now?
No, not that bad.
I would be cautiously approaching, but I mean, I don't know that I'm.
So combat speed is, I guess that's what I'm asking. Are you doing exploration speed or are you doing normal speed?
I'm not making a beeline. I'm not running over there, but I'm going to cautiously approach and look for any movement on the way there.
I'm just assuming everyone is with you. We should be getting Gabriel back, guys, and that'll fix the camera so you won't see two of me facing opposite directions, which is kind of a weird thing. Whoa, whoa. All right. So, as you're approaching, you can see that some debris, most likely from the tent, has washed up against those buildings off to the west.
All of these buildings on the western edge have debris up against them.
No, mostly just these two, and it's pretty easy to see, like maybe some woven rugs that the Shadar or some of the more native tribes out would use, and like maybe some like bits and pieces of bedrolls and stuff are just like around here. So it looks like this tent must have at some time been torn apart. In fact, as you guys come down and you kind of go over there, it looks like a whole tent maybe. Another tent must have been here, and now it's just kind of wrapped up on the lower section of this building. So these are mostly 2-story buildings. Like this is a single story down here, and then another story is on top of it. I don't know if you can realize that or not. As you slowly approach, it doesn't look like there's anything closed over here.
Sorry, anything closed?
It's an open door.
Over?
So these red areas are doors.
Yeah,
so
okay.
if you wanted to kind of get a better idea, it's kind of cheating to know what's inside, but you can see that there's a door here.
Yep.
This stuff isn't there. There's a door here. There's windows open.
Yeah.
On the
I
building.
vaguely recall the layout. Like I fought the creature in the main room, like here, and then the opening was on this side. But
yeah, that's you can kind of see where some doorways and such are, and from this angle you can't see too much in there, but
yeah, I'm gonna keep approaching, and then I intend to kind of go up against the wall and then come up here and duck my head in, and that sort of like quick look and come back.
okay.
Hadia, in anticipation, allows her hand to brush against the pommel of her dagger almost involuntarily.
Akimuk is gonna put an arrow on his bow and keep looking. I mean, that way. Nice, in that way.
All right.
He's gonna.
Is he staying back,
like
or is he up
you.
with the rest of the group? Okay, there. So it's kind of, this thing is big, so you probably wouldn't be able to see that from there. You'd have to be somewhere else. So this is a big area right here. This is one of those large pillars that goes up into the air. The main force is here, but down even at the bottom here, this is probably 20 feet, 10, 15 feet high here. So this angle, you would barely be able to see this building. You wouldn't be able to see this building at all, but you could see this one.
Yeah, look for if anyone coming from this way or that way.
All right. So, you think you see movement in a doorway over here. Oh, hey, could you guys change your name like Gabe's and Stu's? I guess it's everyone but you, Taylor. Change your name so it says your character's name and then your name behind it. On the cog in Roll20. That'll help keep me using your character name if possible. What the heck's going on here?
Oh, I drew that.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
Oh, okay.
Oh man, old golden hen! I didn't know you were overseas. Nice. Well, thanks for stopping by, buddy. Stu or Gabriel, did you get? You haven't turned your camera back on in Discord yet?
I'm grabbing a bite, so I don't want to.
Oh, is there another way to turn it off because it messes up all the cameras
Oh,
on the
okay.
Twitch stream?
Yeah, let's do.
Like open it back up, but you could. I don't even know if that works. I don't know if it works.
I, for one, am curious what you're biting. Oh, perfect. Gorgeous.
Your hair looks great from that angle.
Yeah. It's just a sandwich. I don't have to chew in
Dude,
front of
is it?
everyone.
Isn't it like 11 o'clock there?
Yeah.
You can't eat after 11.
Watch me.
It's only 7:00 where you are, Aaron. What are you talking about? All right. Anyway, so Ekamook sees some movement in that smaller building.
Okay, he's gonna take over behind that rock and keep watch on that area.
Does Galdau have his crossbow out, or he has his axe out, or?
If I'm going to go near the door, yeah, I'm going to have my hand axe and shield out.
Okay. So why don't you roll a d6?
All right.
Ooh, nice.
It's a 1, sir.
So I'm going to explain what you see. So this is all cleared out. Rubble is pretty much all it is. Even the stairwell here, it's just like the stairs are gone. That's the way it was before. You assume it leads to the floor above, but the wood has deteriorated over time. Okay.
Got it.
But like over in this corner, you see a slumped form in like a black, like the black robes of a Shadar, kind of like down, sitting on his rump with his knees up. You can just kind of see the knees popping over, but he looks like he has like almost like a gauze over him, like a light film, like a gauze almost on him.
I guess I'll give like the motion to the guys behind me to like look over my shoulder real quick.
When you do that, you see a Kemok is kind of like, looks like he's taken cover behind one of the large rocks with his bow out.
I'm gonna look I'm gonna look over my shoulder to the group and like sighing into that direction and put my eyes, the fingers to my eyes, and point at that direction.
Okay. All right. So what is Hadia doing?
She was very focused. She was hiding, not hiding, but kind of tailing behind. She was kind of tailing behind Galdal, and then Taylor was forgetting Galdal's name. But she continues to try to stay back out of sight. Are there any? So the door is the only portal in. Like there's no windows or other ways to see.
There are small windows, so that's kind of what you can use this over here for.
Okay.
Is you can see that these are like small portals here, small windows.
Okay.
Like on the front here, like almost on either side of the door. And then there's also windows on the side over here that you saw approaching. Okay. On the second story, there are probably windows between these wooden bars here, these wooden areas like here. Okay. And there's also, you could see this ladder that leads up to the third floor, or leads up to the top of the second floor.
Yep. Yep, the rooftop, yeah. Okay. So I guess she'll kind of step up and peek through a window, given the opportunity to do so.
All right, so that window would lead into this area, and there's no wooden tables or anything in there. But what you do see is it looks like there's a large, like a hole or like a stairwell, older, maybe even older than the building itself, but it's kind of hard to tell because it looks like it has a light gauze over it.
So the stairwell itself is covered in this stuff.
Mm-hmm. You can actually see it in some of the corners as well.
Interesting.
All right.
And if it looked like one of the Shadar, I would be motioning specifically Hethan to come take a glance.
Yeah, I was going to ask Hethan, what have you been doing during all this?
I'm sort of stuck between like first and second base with Gladel and Akamok, and I'm like trying to figure out which way to go. If you're motioning me into the building, I'll I'll go and check on my shittier companion or clansman.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay close, and like first sign of trouble, I'm just
So
gonna get violent.
let's move our tokens over to this map if you're going in the building. That way you can at least see what the building looks like, right? So let's move over here. You know what? I'm gonna actually, you know what makes more sense if we. Oh shit! It makes more sense if I leave them over.
Can you do hard fog of war, Hobbs, for those other buildings and such?
I don't need to. I don't think it doesn't matter.
Cool.
Because I think Galdal has been inside them before or something. I'm not sure. What I was thinking of doing is I'm going to just make copies of where you guys are. So we still have that, I guess. If we need to know, like on this
Where we
side
are
versus
within
that
and
side.
without
Yeah.
situation.
So this is a little weird, but it's kind of cool at the same time. Oh, I was just going to move you, but that's good. You're good. All right, there. Are we good? We happy with where we are?
If Heathen's going in, I'm gonna pop in behind her.
All right, so even when you guys go in, it doesn't really feel, it almost feels like cobwebs are kind of across, and you kind of push through a gauze. What's Heffen have out right now?
Nothing.
Whoa.
He doesn't have it. He doesn't have any weapons out or anything. He's going up to the shatir that's kind of lumped in there in the corner, and he crouches down on his knees, and he goes up to him. Brother, are you well? Maybe sweeping away the cobwebs from his face.
All right, I should put this where it actually is. I think that's closer, right?
Looks about right.
All right, and that is when you pull it and his head kind of lolls back, but his eyes snap open, but he doesn't seem to be alive.
The rites have not been observed. I jump back.
So you can actually jump back if you want to, because he's kind of sitting down right now, and his head kind of lolls back, and you can see his form looks desiccated, but I wouldn't. He just looks desiccated, like a lot of his, like the water has been drained from his body. You don't see like open wounds or anything on him like that, and then his eyes open, and they're just kind of like a pure white.
And he was kneeling down.
He was sitting like down, with his head hunched over, with his knees up.
And his knees kind of his head
Yeah.
kind of between his knees, right?
Yes, exactly.
Can I try to like rush forward and like kick him back to the ground, like if he's already down there that low?
Well, he hasn't really. I was just gonna. Sure, why not? I was given. This is like a surprise round, and I'll give you guys surprise in this situation. Well, actually, what we'll do is why don't we make a wisdom check? This is like a will check, and if you guys pass, then you'll get a surprise round. I just gave it to Heffen. He's got an 18.
Yeah,
anyway.
sure.
But let's see what Galdal does in this situation, if he is prepared or not prepared.
Yeah. So wisdom. Let's see. Bloop.
Yeah. So you're like, oh, what the hell? You've seen a lot of horrors in this building, and this is just one more on the list. All right, what does Hadia want to do?
And so the nomad has kind of popped up, and he's sentient and moving, but simultaneously dead. She'll hang where she is and wait to see what her more durable comrades do.
Okay. What about Ekamuk? They obviously ignored everything that you were trying to do, and they're just doing their own thing inside that Adobe building.
He just looks back and forth nervously, and he kind of quiets as he sees Hadia doesn't go inside, and look back to where that movement was, and to try to see how many, what are they, if they are Shaidar, or what kind of people or thing it's moving out there.
Okay.
She would definitely brandish her knife in this situation, but she wouldn't rush in.
All right. So you can move back. Hethan, how far do you jump back?
Just a square.
Okay. So I have this like really drawn back for the viewers here. I think it is time for initiative, and let's start with Ekamuk. Why don't you roll a d6?
Okay, I roll on the card sheet. Yeah, initiative here.
Oh, beat a 1. A 4. Nice. So what do you guys... All right, so you don't get the bonus, though. That's including your bonus, because this is group initiative. If we were doing individual initiative, you'd get that bonus, so you really only rolled a 2.
Oh, okay.
So, and it says you're a halfling. You should change your character class to thief on your sheet. It might work better. I don't know for sure, but and maybe that's why you're getting the bonus. I don't know. Anyway, yeah. So what's going on inside the building? Galdal and Hethan, you can do something if you'd like.
I'm going to, brother, close your eyes. I will care for you and observe all the proper rites. I'll try a turn undead.
So he doesn't smell like undead. He just seems
I'm still
desiccated.
going to try it.
Yeah. No, I don't blame you.
Yeah. Do you want to roll against it, or
go ahead,
or does it just automatically fail?
No, you can roll. There's a turn undead on your sheet if you filled it in, I guess. All right, so you guys,
that's one die monster.
You guys can feel the power of Khalifa. Is that who you are?
That's who I follow. Yeah, Khalifa, the goddess of fortune
and death. But it doesn't seem to affect it. He like kind of just shakes his head, and it doesn't even seem like whatever it is seems to affect him.
Okay.
Galdel.
Yeah. All right.
He's still he's still seated, right?
I kind of in the fiction said he kind of sprung to his feet.
Oh, he's got clambered to his feet. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with this isn't good based on what I've seen here before. So I'm gonna pop in front of Hethan and I'm swinging at this thing.
Yeah, go ahead.
Bull.
Oh, shit.
So one of you guys should start taking care of this. And this is how we'll do it. Oops, shit.
Oh, we've got weird points. We could use that. Here, Galdo. Yeah, right.
So one of you guys should pick a person who is going to take care of that.
I'm tracking them on my character sheet, so if it's helpful.
Yeah,
Okay.
well, when someone uses it, you should put it out there. So whenever we would talk about it, then just kind of write it so people are aware of it. Do you want to use a weird point for that, Galdel?
What were you talking about, like a reroll?
If you want to, yeah, you'd be able to re-roll that attack.
I think I'd opt to save them for now.
Now we get to
we'll
see
see.
what kind of player each person is too. Do we use all of our resources right away, or do we hold on to them? What do we do?
I've seen much worse inside this house than a single humanoid.
Remember, at this point they are by session, so
Yep.
use them.
Yeah, and it's 9:30, so
Yeah.
Fair.
That's something to think about. All right, so Hefenal Galdel, what is Hadea doing? The wind seems to pick up, and nearby you can see little dust devils kind of sweep up and disappear.
Very spooky. Let's see. She'll step up into the conga line here. She won't get too involved, but she gets close enough that she could become involved if it became necessary.
All right, so she moves inside the building. And what about Ekamuk? Yeah, Ekamuk.
I was just waiting to see if what that movement was.
All right.
I'm here.
So it looks like you can, because it's daylight still, it looks like you can see there's definitely someone in there occasionally, but it's so far away you can't really tell what they're doing. Roll a d6.
Like someone popped out of the door and went back inside, or?
Yeah, quite possibly. What's this? Can you see something right here? No, right? All right, doesn't matter. Anyway, so that's kind of what it looks like. But did you roll a d6?
Okay.
Ooh, a 3. All right, yeah. So it's hard to discern what's going on, and also, you can't see. All you can see is these two buildings from your angle right now.
Okay, so he's gonna move back there, take over on that outcrop, and take a look that way.
All right. All right, so from there you can see. Oops, wrong button. Sorry. So this is kind of falls down, and you can see that building. You can only kind of see a little bit of that building. You can see like the stairs moving up to the second floor, or maybe the third floor. Hell, I don't even know. The second. Yeah, the roof of the first floor is really what that leads to. Okay. Let's see. So through this window, you can see something shifting. It might be just like someone has a curtain or something on there, but even if they do, it seems a little strange.
Okay.
All right. You consider what you want to do. And this guy is on his feet, and the cloak kind of flips back and falls as he kind of moves with starts and shifts, like not a normal human gait in any way, more like he's kind of sitting down there, and then he just kind of shifts and almost inhumanly quickly is right in front of Galdal. And one of his arms, after the cloak falls back, he's only in tatters and bits of leather are on him. He's definitely not dressed as a Shadar, other than the whatever, like they probably have a name for the type of cloak they wear. There is one, but I can't think of what it's called. Who knows what it is? It's on the tip of my burnoose. The burnoose flaps back and just kind of flutters behind him in the winds that have seemed to like kind of flowing through the chamber. And the arm is gone. It doesn't look like it was shattered with a bone. It maybe was gnawed off. The strange things you see as your life could be passing before you. It looks like maybe an animal had eaten part of his hand, and the hand was gone on his left arm. And he kind of strikes out at Galdal. Oh. And so ends.
That's a miss.
Really?
So ends Galdal.
Jeez. How do you like that reroll now?
Well,
5 points, Stu.
Use a weird point, so
He can't use a
He
weird
has to
point for
reroll.
this. He could sunder his shield.
uh,
You're not going to be able to use a weird point to affect a roll that I make. It's
Yeah.
only a roll that you make.
it's okay.
I'll keep my shield for now. I do have a backup, but I'll keep it.
Yeah, so you expected the one hand kind of actually grips, and you can see that like bones are through the desiccated skin tips of his fingers. Fingernails are gone, but just the actual bony tips of his phalanges have busted through the desiccated skin as it was pulled tauter and tauter and tauter until finally the bones. No blood comes out, but he kind of pulls your shield back, and the ruined arm comes through and stabs into Galdal. All right, so initiative. You won last time, so you're still up, Gaber.
Okay.
Hit it.
A 3 success. So does Akamuk want to do anything?
So he's gonna move behind the palm tree there.
Yeah, so the trees aren't there, but we can say that it's like a pile of rubble or something.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's no trees down here because trees wouldn't have grown up in a few months and they wouldn't have survived being covered with sand. It could be like a petrified tree, but it wouldn't be bushy or anything like that.
Right. Just
Because you wanted to be
yeah,
able to see in the other room. All right, yeah, so there is no curtain, and you can actually see multiple forms in there. Like, it's kind of hard to see, but you could like maybe see their burnooses flapping in the wind or whatever, but they don't seem to be looking out the window where you are.
Okay. So I'm gonna
But you can see through the
there.
window what these guys are looking at. You can see right through that window.
yeah, I'm like hey, what's going on in there? I got movement in the other buildings.
And that's when you see this weird creature I've been describing with a gout of blood out of Galdal's entrails steps back as this, and he's just no eyes are on it as its head turns towards you. All right, so you guys can go. Galdal, it seems like you're in hand-to-hand here. Oh, a strike? Doesn't even say what he's going to do. He just rolls. I see how it is.
AC 4.
That hits.
All right.
So it's like chopping a trunk or, a tree. This creature is so desiccated that some of the skin and the leather is just kind of slough off. But it still seems to be moving. And you can see now that almost his whole form is covered in like a whitish fuzz or like this gauze. Heffen?
Can I let's see, can I grab my mace from my belt and charge into melee here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And this is when you're pretty sure there's no way this was a Shadar. It looks like it was some lamb man dressed in Shadar Burnous.
Hit AC 8 for 1.
It just kind of like, it's like, striking a log with your mace. You can move your guy wherever you went.
Use a cheater point or whatever they are.
Oh, a cheater point?
On your damage roll?
Oh, that's what we're going to call them now. Okay.
It's weird point. Weird is another word
Sure,
for
I'll
fate
use my
or
one
destiny.
of my 1 of 4 cheater points tonight. Weird points. I'll use my weird point tonight. It's still not much better there, Stu. It was
Well, the eight
fated.
hit. The 8 hit.
Oh,
Yeah, you didn't have to roll damage. You didn't have to use it to hit.
yeah.
Sorry, I missed
misunderstood.
that. I missed that. I I didn't understand that I hit.
Yeah, you did. You hit. It was like hitting. Like I was just trying to describe like what it would feel like taking a mace and hitting like this tree almost. That's what he feels like when you hit him.
Gotcha.
Hadaya.
So he would not be able to use the weird point to re-roll the damage exclusively.
If you want to, it seems like it might feel like a waste to me, but I'm not going to hold you back if that's what you want to do.
No, I'll take the 1 point. It's better than none points.
Hadaya.
Let's see. I'm feeling emboldened.
Uh-oh, good. Does that mean bored?
No, that means that I may have been up since 4 a.m. and I'm feeling good. So
Nice.
and I miss.
Yeah. So like you
could
like I usually say magic users can kind of sense magic a little bit. So like don't forget there's things you can do that aren't necessarily on your character sheet. Just ask, okay? Because
Right.
I don't want a person playing a magic user to get into combat just because they're kind of bored or whatever. So
Right.
All right.
Yeah, she wasn't sure what else she could help with. So in terms of the room, I know there's the sort of the white film and a stairwell in this area. Is the white film all over in this area also?
No, not as much. You can see some remnants of it and tatters that are flopping a little bit, and the creature's burnous seems to have been caught in it. But this stairwell isn't even here. But there are like holes in the wall where it probably was made out of wood and once climbed up that area. So it's taller over there. That whole area kind of goes up to a second floor where the ceiling above you is about 8 feet high here. You can see these windows. None of this wood and stuff is in here. It just looks like piles of sand is all around and that sort of thing.
Gotcha. And I'm assuming this creature, whatever it is, has to be magical, truthfully, because it's not alive, but it's also not dead, but it's also not responding to our holy man here.
Yeah, it seems like quite an interesting dilemma, doesn't it?
Does.
All right, so here we go. I'm going to roll a d6. 1, 2, 3 is Galdel, 4, 5 is Hethan, and 6 is Hadaya. 3. So once more, strikes at Galdel. Misses. It seems like it's initiative. Gabriel, you won again, so I don't think it could happen. So
Let's give it
you
a
could try it, though. I got a 3. A 1, as I suspected. All right. I'm going to do the same thing to see who it attacks. A 5. This time it shifts and goes after Hethan, the Shadar. A 7, which is certainly a miss. So at the farthest reaches of your sight, Ekamuk, on the edges of the sand, like way up over here, you see my pinging?
No, could you
It's
ping
on
again?
It's on the far south.
Oh, okay, yeah, got it.
You can see some forms kind of moving.
Or forms.
Yeah. They kind of seem to be moving from left to right, like 2 of them, like they are slinking around, but they are wearing white robes, and so they kind of blend in with the desert. But your sharp eyes from nights of slinking around the mall with all the rest of the thieves in Genera picked them up easily.
Okay. But nothing's coming from here.
Nope, you don't see anything there.
Okay.
They're like bent over, and they seem to be like carrying something in one hand as they kind of shifted to move for cover over here.
Okay.
You know how the
Going
universal symbol of sneaking, kind of hunched over.
I'm gonna do the same and move over here.
All right. So we got a little game of cat and mouse over here. I like
Yeah.
it. All right. So Hadaya, what are you gonna do? So this thing, it has been affected, like its gait has slowed, but it still has that almost supernatural ability to seem to like burst into motion, even though most of the time, if it seems lethargic.
Okay. So let's see. I have some standard lantern oil. Would I be able to use that to sort of like douse the creature? Like, could I strike at it, not necessarily with the with the knife, because I feel like I figured out that I'm not effective at that, but could I get what I'm looking to try to do is set us up to be able to immolate whatever this creature is in the coming round or two.
Yeah, sure. You can try to throw it on it, but you're kind of in melee, right? They're in melee, and you're in melee as well. So when you use missile weapons in melee, I don't know if this is in the house rule or not, but just like Kalmata, what I normally say is if you take a -4, you won't hit any of your companions, or you can attack normally. But if you miss, or if you roll a 1, 2, 3, or 4, you will hit one of your companions. Or is it a 1, 2, 3 game? Or I can't remember, Stu. No, it's 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? Don't know. You're muted. Does anyone remember from Kalmata?
Yep.
I think that sounds right. That reminds me of Kalmata.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah.
So
yeah, it's not in house rule, but yeah.
No, I should add that
anyway.
What's that?
Cool.
It's a great ruling anyway. I like the
good
20% chance to hit a friend is good.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and try that. I'm not going to be careful or anything. My thought process being, I don't have any open flames at this point. So, because we're out there in broad daylight, I'm assuming.
Yep, like we said, I think we said it's early afternoon when you reach the area.
Right. So I don't. There are not a lot of like. I assume we don't have any open flames, so I'm not going to bother taking a.
Yeah, sun is streaming through the door and through the windows. I mean, it's murky in here because this backside has no windows, but you can see, right? It's not black in here or anything like that. I wouldn't suspect anyone has a torch or anything. So
cool. I'm gonna try to douse the creature in lantern oil.
Ooh, a 13. Yeah, basically, you pull it off of your pouch or whatever and smash it into the creature, and it's doused with lamp oil. The acrid smell of it fills the room, overcoming even that dry smell that seems to be coming from this creature.
Okay. And environmentally, you said there's like rubble, there's no spare driftwood or anything like that lying around?
Any wood that survived is like petrified.
Okay, got it.
All right, so we'll say he's oops, wrong button. He's nailed with oil. So Galdal, what are you going to do?
God, one more damage.
You guys are dinking this thing.
Yeah.
Hethan?
I'll swing with my mace. Miss. DC 11.
So close. Kemuk, I think you already went this turn. So this creature is. Oh, the creature went first, right? Yeah.
Yep.
So I think it is time for initiative again. And Gabriel lost, so let's move on to Stu. A 1. All right, so let's go exactly the other direction. Galdal. Oh, let's Hattie see if she can. I mean, it's going to take you around to light a torch or something.
Right. And I think I would have to. Would I have to step back in order to do that successfully without potentially getting smeared?
Well, he can attack you if you stay there, but if you move, he could get an attack of opportunity on you because you're retreating, unless you do a withdrawal. But you can't do anything else if you do a withdrawal.
Okay. Right. All right. So yeah, I will. I will do a withdrawal.
Okay.
5, 10, 15.
So you can
20,
move you can only move half of your movement, which that might be half actually.
So yeah, it's 120, 40, I think, right?
I think so.
Yeah. So I think that should be. Oh.
So
how do I do?
The second diagonal is a half.
Right.
So it's 1.5. Each diagonal is 1.5. The first one's 1. The second one's 2. So you could go 1, 2, 3, and that's it. Or you could go there if you wanted. Or here. You wouldn't be able to go.
There's fine. So the objective is to get out of combat and then to appraise. Appraise Akamuk of our situation. So to tell him. But yeah, I'm not sure what I would tell him. So
it's happening in here. What's Akamuk do?
We'll say kill it with fire.
Are you? Yeah. Okay. Akamuk, you gonna do anything?
I'm keeping an eye on those lingers out there.
If they step out, are you gonna try and snipe them or no?
I'm
You could try to make sure you're hidden, like hide in shadows here if you want. If you want to try to hide.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep still behind the. But
what's your percentile?
Keeping an eye on that area. It's
like anybody can hide, but you have the ability to hide way better
38.
than anyone else. 38.
Yeah, that's
all right.
Two levels plus dex.
Yep, perfect. It's your dex, not your dex bonus. So.
Yeah, plus my.
All right, and
dex,
do you ignore Hadia? Basically, when you peek out the window, you can barely even see Akamuk. He seems like he's got the ability to blend into his surroundings quite well.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get in here. Hethan.
All right. Let's see if I can do any better here with my mace.
Oh, he hits. But still, it's just like a kind of just blanks into it. But more, you can feel like the papery skin kind of breaks and the ribs inside do. But it still kind of slowly shuffles when it takes it. It doesn't even grunt, you know. What does Galdal do?
Oh.
He misses. So there's only the two of you now. So I'm just going to do it equally to see who gets attacked. 1, 2, 3 is Galdal. Nope. This time, once again at Hethan. The smell of lamp oil is strong.
I'm chain and shield.
All right, that misses. Oh, yeah, we didn't even talk. Do you guys want to do ascending or descending? We can go into that at some point if you want to. All right. Yeah, so it bursts into motion and attacks at Hethan, but you fend him off. Not a lot happening, you guys. This is interesting.
Sort of par for the course over here, Stu. You and me teamed up together, not doing much with the fight.
Yeah, feels familiar.
2 Two warriors can't occupy the same space at the same time.
New round.
Yeah. Let's do initiative again, Stu. A 3. All right, Stu, you get to go first.
Oh. We haven't burned any of these points,
Yeah, you want to
right?
use it?
Yes.
Yeah. Go ahead. Roll again.
Oh.
Miss. Heffen. So someone has to be in. I think, Aaron, you're in charge of the weird points, aren't you?
Yeah, I got it here.
So you got to put weird 3, 4.
That's for calling
Oh.
them cheating points.
In the other game, if any are left over, he gives bonus XP for them. I forgot about
Ooh,
that.
I
But
like
not
that.
much. But not much.
Ah, come on.
Hey, I'm in chat now. Welcome to the game, buddy. We're starting to wrap up here. Things are going total madness.
Oh.
Did you
All
attack
right,
yet?
Kara, let me get my attack in, and then we'll move on to the others. Oh, there's a hit. For
Yes.
Finally, the mace comes in, connecting in the shoulder bone head area, and everything just seems to break. And there was never like any light or anything in there, but there is, like, you actually see the skin when it breaks. It looks like there's something else that was like either on the skin or just below the skin. Maybe this was some cloth that kind of smushes, and some kind of like a greenish ichor kind of like splats out.
There's no man. Take 2 steps back as that ichor starts spreading around.
Yeah, and it's thick, and it just kind of goops out like cottage cheese.
Ugh.
Bull.
Yeah.
And it's not his whole body. It's just like an area, almost like a hump that kind of had the same skin color as his skin did. So you didn't even recognize it, but it almost seems like something is attached to his back, up around his medulla or something.
His medulla oblongata.
Yeah. Or the
You
back
got
of
all
his
them
head.
teeth and no toothbrush.
I don't even know what that means. Hadia.
Hmm. Seeing all this, I'm moderately inclined to set him on fire anyway.
I like it. You gonna take a torch
So-
up there and just light him on fire as he crumbles to the ground?
Smoke might draw attention, but
We're inside though, so where's it gonna go?
Out the window?
Out the window, out the door.
Hadia doesn't care
Well,
about that. Don't listen to those guys.
But a child.
Yeah. So what is the so? So it's, you said it seems like there's something on his.
Yeah,
On
you may
his
not even have
back.
saw that from this distance, but it
I wouldn't be able to
certainly,
see it.
well, Heffen's and Galdal's reaction maybe to it, like, oh, what's that? You know, they obviously seem like they're grossed out. So we can say that you can go and inspect it if you'd like, and then throw on the torch or whatever if you want. It's up to you.
Hmm. I'll come. Oh, if I use the pointer instead of the ruler, she'll step up and take a closer look at it, but not too close. We don't want to. We don't necessarily want to touch any of this stuff. And so we have the green cottage cheese flowing out.
Yeah, why don't
Does
you
it-
roll a d6? Nice. So you see through the window. Oops, wrong button. This way. Just out of the corner of your eye. You know how it is sometimes where you pick up strange things. But it looks like you can see a form slinking over here.
Over this direction.
You see him?
Yep, I see him. Yep.
So he looks like he's headed this way.
Okay. So he's okay. Got it.
Can I drop a salted yakim head on the cottage cheese?
Sure. All right, so
Once Akakamuk goes, I have another action for the round, or if we're out of melee or whatever's happening.
well, we're kind of in some weirdness is certainly going on, but it doesn't seem like Akamuk has gone yet. So why don't you do that? Akamuk? I haven't figured out how we should say that yet.
Akemuk. That's easy.
Akamuk? Akemuk? I need to put some phonetic spellings in here. What are you going to do, Gabe?
What are those guys doing? I mean, they move, they stay there, they're hiding, they're trying to.
One of them stayed there, and the other like broke up onto the area up here, but you can't see him because of this raised area now. But you saw him go up there. You wouldn't be surprised if you were still on the streets of the mall. It seems like a tactic, like they're trying to flank you guys.
Yeah. I mean, I'm gonna keep an eye down here. If he pops like between these two buildings, I take a shot at him.
Okay. Oh, roll a d6.
Okay.
No. All right. Yeah. So you're focused on that area. All right. I don't think you did anything yet, Stu.
I think I did swing and miss at the top of the round, didn't I?
Oh, you did? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you guys have 3 of 4 weird points. You want to re-roll that, Gabriel?
Okay,
I'm going to give you some XP bonus. I haven't decided what. Probably like 50 points maybe for each weird point left over. So that's decent, but 4 didn't help you. So now you're down to 2 of 4, Aaron. Okay. Nice. All right. So, yeah. So are you letting the guys know, Akamuk, what's happening? At all, or no? You're just kind of hiding, so you're probably not.
I already did.
You let Hadia know, and you've said it a couple times, but they seem to be ignoring. They were in a fight for their lives. Galdal, is holding his guts in, so maybe the wound wasn't as bad as you thought. You should survive.
I've got a cure light wound for Galdal when there's a moment.
With the tensing of your jaw. Oh, there's a moment right now. Or what do you guys want to do with this thing?
I want to drop a salted yakim head on the green stuff.
Okay.
Hadia does pipe up about the lurker to the west. She doesn't know about the ones to the south, so she, seeing this guy moving northbound, isn't necessarily convinced that he's coming for us yet, but she will mention the slinker to the west.
He moved into that building, you think?
Okay. All right, back to the Yakim head. I apologize for interrupting.
And you guys would also have heard Akamuk say that you're being flanked. There's people moving in the sands. Something is out there.
I signaled them when I was here, and then when I was near the window, I said that.
So what's your intention with the salted yakim head? Are you trying to get some dipping sauce, or?
Aside from just being weird, I was wondering if it was contributing to controlling this dead body or something. I just wanted to see if it reacted to a body part being placed on it. That was all.
It didn't.
Okay.
It reacted naturally.
Or was it just sitting there?
It's just there.
It's squirted out of the body and it's just hanging out.
Yeah, it just kind of glooped out. It didn't really squirt like you'd think of blood. It just kind of splooched out like a zit or something.
Yeah.
And you said there was something on its back, at the base of its neck. some sort of green
Are
blobby
you gonna
thing.
are you gonna kind of examine it or something? Or
Well, I need to tend to my companion first, so I'm gonna cast the Cure Light Wound on Galdal.
all right, what's that look like?
I'm just like tending to his wounds, but when I do, my hands are kind of glowing a little bit.
So whenever you use magic, it's gonna be loud and obvious. So there,
Okay.
you'd probably have to at least like maybe say a prayer or call on your deity or something.
Okay, sure. So right, there's a chanting, as I'm tending to Galdal's wounds.
Okay, nice. It is not yet your time.
Oh, nice. I love that idea. So good.
So first, Galdal, you find the hot then cool sensation of the healing powers of Hethan.
Nice.
Looks like you got 5 points back, which was all of it, right?
It was. Feeling good.
So that wound, first of all, it wasn't as bad as you thought, and then the blood that was seeping out slows. All right, so you're just going to drag the body out, no more inspection?
He's going to drag it out and light it on fire.
All right, so those guys are just continuing to ignore you. And then eventually...
Yeah, Hadia doesn't ignore. She'll move back here. There's not much she can do. She's trying to stay kind of hidden a little bit inside, but she wants to remain able to see what's going on to keep her visibility as to what the team's doing.
All right. And so Akamuk, these buildings aren't here, right? Because that's just a mirror of where you're at. But you do see this guy kind of slink up over here. So you could take a shot at him if you want.
Yeah. Because that's what I said I was going to do. It's almost, that's just medium. It's almost short range.
You are going to get your backstab, though.
Okay. So it's, okay. It's medium range. And get the +4. Okay. So that's
AC2.
6.
Roll. How do you guys want to do double damage? I think I've offered different options. Like I think there's a table in there in the tackle mandates. We could use that, or you could just roll another damage die if you want.
And it's double damage because he threw a critical, or
because he gets double damage because he's a thief and he did a backstab. Yeah.
Maybe it's a question for the thief with the backstab. How do you want it to work?
Well, as a group, we should decide what we want. Criticals to do. So it's just double damage. Sorry, it's a critical. If it was a critical, we'll use that table if we want to. But the double damage is the way it works for this. And maybe if we wanted to, we would say you could maybe like hobble someone or do something else. Like I say, it's not always on the character sheet, but that makes some sense to me that you would fire at a different area that's not doing double damage, but maybe you're wanting to, like I say, cut its hamstring or whatever. But for this moment, let's just say you do double damage. Yeah, so that guy pops his head up and Akamuk puts an arrow in his eye.
Nice.
Did that kill him?
Yes.
Nice.
It seems to. His head snaps back, and you can see like a burst of blood at the back of his head as he topples back out of sight.
Okay. Can I move?
Sure, why not? I can't remember. Do we usually not move after we attack? I can't remember. I think you can. Yeah. You do spot, as soon as you see that, you spot seems to be some others like are moving around this pillar.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so I'm gonna dash towards the entrance.
All right, yeah. So you fire, this guy goes. You're like, oh shit, and you sprint over there.
Yeah.
And you can see.
Am I like, are you deaf? We've been, we've been, we've been surrounded. We got company. Did,
We had
did I have
company.
did I have a chance to see if they are Shadar or what kind of
Not really. You haven't got a good enough look at them.
okay.
But when you take your shot and you kind of run over, you can hear them out there. They seem to be calling out in Karamani, "Yee, run, little mouse, run!"
Are there stairs going up? Is there a
No.
stairway going up
No,
here? Is the
there-
stairway going down?
No, there's no stairwell, but it's obvious that it's higher here, so it moves up to a second floor. But the wooden stairs are gone. There's just holes in the wall where the supports for stairs would have been.
And you said the cobwebbiness was covering where those stairs were.
Down
Did I-
in the other room. You don't see any of the gauze over here. The only
Okay.
gauze was like there, and then it's in the other room
Here.
that Hadia saw peeking through the window.
Creepy.
So, what are you guys doing in here now that you hear that? Akamuk runs in, pulling another arrow out of his quiver.
Well, maybe we could get up to the second story, and we could it would be way more defensible than this first floor. Or we could. Are there any materials still left in this building? Could we create a barricade in front of the door?
No,
type
not
of
really.
thing?
The best barricade we could potentially do would be to light the body on fire. Truthfully, if we went to the roof, we'd have a better defensive point, but we'd also be kind of stuck up there.
With the merciless archer, that guy is tense.
I mean, we could probably boost some people
Yeah.
up, but obviously that's going to leave someone behind.
Well, boost somebody up and then pull somebody up, right?
Yeah.
Old Golden Hen, that is gross. Just because I called it like cottage cheese, you're playing the wrong game to have people tasting that stuff, I think, around here. I don't know, though. Never know, I guess. Maybe you should try to bite out of your Yakim head after you dipped it in the dipping sauce.
No.
That's so gross.
He's on a low salt diet there.
All right, so I think I'm going to let you guys take some time to decide what you want to do. It sounds like Hethan is saying, "Hey, maybe we should." Is there anything Galdal wants to do this last moment before we turn this into a cliffhanger?
Not specifically. I'm on board for trying to hold our ground, though. I like the idea of getting someone or someone's up top, if not all of us.
So the floor to that would be about 8 or 9 feet high, going up to there.
It's where someone's getting on shoulders to hop up there.
Well, knowing
or you could
that
just,
there
you
used
could put
to
your
be
knee
wooden
or-
stairs, do there look to be supports? So places that used to hold beams that we could use as handholds to climb.
Yeah, for sure.
Cool.
And I mean,
So
you could
we
someone
can-
could put their foot in your cupped hands, and you could easily help someone up. I mean, it's only 9 feet. I mean, you guys.
Yep. Yeah, I was just thinking that we could. It would not. Whomever got left behind wouldn't necessarily be stuck there. We could get up. It's not a valiant sacrifice kind of scenario.
Just a matter of time.
All right, so let's say Galdal, it does seem like there's something attached to this desiccated Karamani's back that has some kind of tendrils that move up to the lower portion of the base of its skull. And when the mace came in, it smashed. So it was almost picture like a starfish or like a manta ray or something is attached to his back, but it's more circular in shape. And when you smashed it, it just kind of gushed out, and that's when it seemed to lose all mobility. Dude, you guys got recognized from Jay's game. Oh, maybe maybe I'm in chat now brought Rat Ward from Jay's game. That's why he recognizes you from it. I have never been in a game where someone recognized my players from one of Jay's games. That is pretty interesting. Good job. You guys are famous. Welcome to the stream, Rat Ward. Welcome to the stream. All right, so like I said, this will be a maybe sort of a. I kind of figure you guys are scrambling now to get up on top of the second floor. Is kind of sounds like the plan right now, and you guys can change that if you want to. But I think that's as the camera fades away. That's what's happening.
Yeah, let's leave the body in the stairwell so we can light it on fire if somebody tries to climb up on. Get at us.
Let the bodies hit the floor. So anyway, that's where we will let this go, and you guys can talk about this. We'll be back next week. Probably, it seems like around 7:15. I think we'll be back a little sooner. We'll start a little sooner this week than we did last week. And this is kind of when I want to stop, 10 to 10:30, all depending on what's happening. So let's move over to the round table, and we can talk briefly. We'll do XP first. So we were saying, well, you got here kind of late, Rat Ward, but thanks for showing up. This is we talked about 100 XP, right, per session. Isn't that what we decided? Did I get lost?
100 per level per session.
Yeah, 100 XP per level per session, but you do have 2 weird points left. So those are worth 100 XP, but you have to split those. So it looks like today's session is in small session, really. It was only half of a session, right? The rest of it was all the talk about the session 0 stuff. So 125 XP today. And then you guys can add your bonuses if you got them.
Right.
Yep, 10%. I'm at 137.
Nice. Hey, Mark CMG. Welcome, buddy. Good to see you, brother.
Hey, Mark.
This is a new campaign. I will be adding it on my, my perfect schedule of adding these Twitch recordings to my YouTube. I'm getting better at that, though. I have a bunch of them out. I did lose quite a few because they were just lost to the ether. So we lost quite a few games, but that'll have to be okay. Why don't we talk about highs and lows? Gabriel, you got anybody?
Highs and lows in this session.
Yeah.
Not anything in particular. Been session 0. We still have things just starting in motion, so things are gonna run more smoothly with the next sessions, and with us defining any blanks that were left in this one.
Yeah, I feel like
we went pretty well, all in all.
Yeah, I was pretty happy, honestly. I don't know if it got redundant, some of that session 0 stuff, because like I said, we did a lot of it in the chat. So, but I enjoyed it too. Stu?
Yeah, no misses for me really. Maybe other than Roll20 jacking up your dynamic lighting with the update.
That is a little scary. I'm going to have to check some stuff before Sunday, I think, is the next game I'm running.
Yeah, Hits just getting back to White Sands. I thought it was cool the times that we dipped into this before, and I was eager to explore this again. More importantly, getting this group together, always good to play with you guys. So.
We may have Elliot here next session, and like we discussed, he'll just show up, right? It won't be, he's always been here. He just hadn't done anything of note at this point.
Typical.
Of Elliot's characters.
that was the joke, yes.
He's actually usually the one who does the most destruction.
I know.
Tonight it was Gabriel, though. Akumu. See, I like that thieves can backstab from anywhere with any weapon. I mean, they're so nerfed in OSE as it is. But this session, I mean, Ekamuk did a lot, even though you guys ignored him the whole time. Aaron.
Yeah.
The hit for me was Akamuk hiding in the shadows there, and then just wasting that flanker with his bow from distance. That was awesome. And the dousing the body with oil, though we haven't had a chance to light it on fire. I think that was great too.
Any misses?
I think just ramping up to speed in the world, all the different names are a little bit challenging. But I think that'll come. It's
That's an interesting observation. Is it? I've always wondered about that. Sometimes, like, you kind of want to get a feel for a setting that you're trying to create, but if the names are like hard to pronounce and you have trouble with it, does it detract more than it adds? I don't know.
It's like some fantasy novels, with complex names or place names and things like that. I read them and I'm like, okay, it's the forest.
Tecamel, right? Tecamel.
Right.
Awesome. I would agree with that. So that's something to think about and consider for the future. I don't know if I'll change it, but that's why I usually try to give the translation of the name as well.
Oh, and the other miss. Well, then that adds more confusion too, right? It's like, which name is it? Are we using the secret special name, or are we using the simple name?
It's a good question.
I think the other miss for me was Shadir, right? Shadir.
Oh, okay. I said Shadar, actually.
Yeah, there it's even worse.
I think we can vote on that. I've just been saying Shadar for 7 years since I wrote it, so I think the miss is that all of us didn't get food from the misses.
Well, there you go. The missus.
Taylor.
She's good to me.
Yeah. So I'm with Stu on I think this session. I'm excited to be exploring this part of the world. I'm excited to be kind of breaking into something new because I know, having seen some of the previous streams, having participated in some of the previous games, about this kind of wider world, and I'm excited to explore it. I'm excited to get into it. I did not have any misses this session. I think that the session was a little short to have really solid hits or misses because, like you said, we spent some time getting to know each other, getting to know how the game kind of flows. And I think that in the next couple sessions, we'll kind of gel up a little bit better, and we'll get to know where we're going. We'll get to know what the game's about. And so I think that's moderately a hit for me because that's an excitement, that's an anticipation for where we're going to go. So
I love starting these. I call them traditional campaigns as opposed to my normal drop in, drop out West Marches type games or hex crawls. Right, this is more of a traditional campaign, which can also be a hex crawl, but it really gives an opportunity to flesh out areas that I wouldn't otherwise take the time to do. It seems like in this sort of situation, I will do that, but I won't otherwise. And like you don't even see characters in Kalmata decide what culture they're from because it doesn't necessarily even matter. But you can really kind of delve deeper into that information in a serial campaign. So like if you really like the exploration of the lore of a setting, this is the place to find it in my games, really. And it's not even like you'll see the lore of the history in Kalmata. It won't make any sense probably, but over time you'll see that some of that stuff makes more sense in the bigger picture. Like I think Stu has seen that maybe just like playing in the Lost in Agata game where like, oh, this is what's happening there, or this is what that is, or I don't know. That's just a common thread throughout my games in general in the Emergent Empires. Individuals, characters don't necessarily know thanks Mark, don't necessarily know anything but players will, as they play more in different settings or different campaigns, they'll get a broad picture of maybe what the whole setting is all about as opposed to these individual ones. Night Old Golden Hen, I have no idea what time it is for you, but we really appreciate you hanging out this long. A hit for me is definitely getting a game going again on Tuesday, getting the Tuesday nights rolling again. That's pretty awesome. I really enjoyed Lost in Agata and the backstories we did and the times we touched on this. This is over a year old. When I first ran it for Najma, it was for Gary Gygax's day. I had decided I wanted to run something, and I found one person who wanted to play, and so we started this campaign back then. And then, I don't know, we've probably had 4 or 5 sessions maybe. I don't know. But to me, this is session number 1 of this campaign, and all that other stuff is just backstory. And that is cool. I'll be looking forward when Elliot gets in. I think 5 is a really good number for OSE. 4 isn't bad, but I think 5 might be better. Although this round table, I think all your pictures are going to have to get smaller. Anyway, we were playing, today we used this, obviously, Old School Essentials. The 20 questions I keep talking about, I will cover again. Brood Mother Sky Fortress, which is by Jeff Reentz, a true grognard of the OSR. Other than that, I don't know if I used anything else. Can you guys think of anything else? Products or anything? I don't think so.
Your little zine that was the source for the whole
This is,
campaign.
the first campaign came from this. The Excavation of the Tomb of Lorna Nain. This was zine number 1. I don't even know if we put what year this came out. We should have. It's been a while. If you want to get this, you can get the PDF on DriveThruRPG. If you want a hard copy, they probably have some at Goodman Games. Or you can contact me and maybe I'll have some more printed. And occasionally I do contests. Like during the charity session, I gave away all 4 of the zines to one lucky winner. Every other Thursday, there's another new traditional campaign coming out on the Gamerhood, and we're exploring this, Bettleby Ridge, in the area around Bettleby Ridge, which is zine number 2. So 2 different areas are getting some love. Oh, actually, there are only 3. I have 2 different covers for these. Same one. Look at me. I'm sneaking around. I was like, I don't remember doing 4, but I am hoping to get more zines produced, and they most likely will be coming from this or stuff that I've done. I may write, I'm talking with Steve Grodzicki to write an adventure for Low Life, his Shadowrun clone that's built with low fantasy gaming structure. So I'm going to write an adventure for that. And then I also am going to publish the adventure that we did on the Sky Road adventure with a charity game a month ago or so. So anyway, I guess that's it. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't think I have anything else. I do a podcast, if you guys know. It's called Hobbs and Friends. Look it up. A random screech should probably be coming out tomorrow. I'll probably comment on these new campaigns too. So any of you guys that listen to that, look forward to it. Otherwise, I think we should key the music.
It's a beautiful day in the Gamerhood, a beautiful day for my gamers. Would you be one? Could you be one? Out of that plunder, but don't despair. This colony's breeding great robbers. Would you be one? Could you be one? If the 80% mortality rate works for you, for a few bucks a month you can sign up and have the Hobbs kill you. So let's make the most of another Sunday. Brew up some coffee and play it my way. Would you be mine? Could you be mine? Won't you be my gamers? Won't you please, won't you be my gamers?